because if I find something that they like and it's something I like, then yeah, that's how we do the conversation.
In the Carousel Studios in Hollywood, California, it's the Cara Carousel Show. The talk show where VTubers talk about VTuber stuff. To be a guest, go to vupechat.com, click the Start Chatting Now button, and you might have an opportunity to talk with Cara. With over 700 guests and counting. You could be next.
Right, why are you in the kitchen?
Because I'm a woman.
Get ready for the wacky.
So what made you decide to become a VTuber?
Well, the people that made me decide to become a VTuber are canceled now, so...
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Get ready for the funny.
I can't zoom in that far. Hold on, see how far I can zoom in with my eyes. Hold on, let's see. Hold on.
I see more boob than I do eyes.
Get ready for the laughs.
You alright? Oh, there go my keys. My keys fell off my desk. That's what happened.
And now, please welcome
Cara Carousel. Wait, shouldn't I be playing this on Monday instead of Sunday? Well, too late for that now anyway. Yeah. Wait, you woke up to the only, well, not the, is it the only talk show on VoopChat? Well, I don't know. I think I'm the only one. But anyway, welcome everybody to a Sunday edition of the Cara Carousel show. Yesterday was a lot of fun, and I see there's a lot of people over in here already. Appreciate you guys for hanging out with me on a Sunday, December 7th, 2025. Should be a good one here today. It is 41 degrees in Baltimore, Maryland, 40 in Tokyo, 63 in Los Angeles, 57 in London, and 28 in Chicago. I think they're getting record snowfall down over there, but it should be very interesting. Yeah, 63 degrees in LA and snow. But yeah, next week, well, this upcoming week, I'm working 6 days in a row, so I'm only doing a Saturday Voop Chat, and then we got Mentor Monday. That's next time you'll see me doing Voop Chats. For I'll be on a I'm doing a paid time off next week. Should be a lot of fun, so I might stream a little more on my PTO. I'm gonna be in Atlanta for the AWA, the Anime Weekend Atlanta. That should be fun. Wait, what? What happened, Mac? What happened? Uh-oh. Mac Gleazy has interrupted our program and my whole introduction because he has something to type. I think. But while we wait for him to type whatever it is he's got to type, we gotta do our show advertisement. You know I gotta do this thing, freaking, and one for this, this show wouldn't be possible.
The Cara Carousel show is brought to you by VupeChat, the website where you can chat with VTubers, express your original self, and meet new friends. And by Baltimore, Maryland. There's more than
that! I forgot about that!
And by Powerade. the official
God
sports
damn
drink
it!
of
And
the Cara
everyone saw
Carousel
that
show.
night on NXT. Yeah, you know what? Hold on. Yeah, you know, yeah. Hold on, yeah. Freaking. Did you want to do that or not? I gotta. Yeah. Hold on. So what time is Saturday night main event? 7 o'clock? No, 8 o'clock on next Saturday. Okay, all right. We gotta figure out how to. Well, yeah. I mean, it's just so you have Peacock, right? I hope you got Peacock. It's the only way we're gonna look at it. Only way we're gonna look at it is if you have Peacock and then I have the Peacock, and then it's just gonna be it's gonna look so odd seeing two VTubers watching Saturday night's main event despite us. Okay, so we're good. All right, I'm gonna see if I can get a couple more people that want to join us for that. But all right, so let me put that in there. So all right, so we're gonna do a watch along of Saturday night's main event. And yeah, send me a transparent crap. I need to change my schedule. Fuck. All right, yeah. Send me a transparent picture of your model so we can be like, hey, coming up this Saturday after VODs. It's Saturday night's main event. We can watch John Cena's last blah blah blah. But nah, it's all good. I completely forgot about that. Yeah. If anyone else wants to do a watch along with me and Matt Gleazy, we're gonna watch Saturday night's main event. It's gonna be a good one. It's Gunther versus John Cena in his last match ever on in the world, period. And then you got Cody Rhodes versus the new NXT champion Obafemi. That should be an interesting one. You got Bayley against Sol Ruka. And then you got who else? Is that it? No, there's more. I know I'm missing somebody. I'm missing a match. Hold on, let's see here. Saturday night main event 2025. I know somebody else is wrestling that night. Freaking. Hold on. Oh, it's just 3 matches? There can't be more than just those. Am I happy with John Cena's opponent? I'm mixed. I'm mixed too. I am definitely mixed in that one because I mean, freaking Gunther. I mean, Gunther's already over. Freaking LA. I mean, both of those guys are kind of over in my opinion. Freaking Gunther and LA Knight are over. I mean, yeah, Gunther. Gunther's already kind of a made man. He's not really. Does he really need? Does he? I mean, I guess. But I mean, I'm curious to see what happens. And yeah, I mean, that's yeah. I'm mixed. To be honest with you, I was mixed with the NXT match too, because I wanted Ricky to face Cody again, like they did in AEW. But all right, so yeah. But get what you can get though. All right, where are we at in this on vupechat here? Let's see here. And did my computer freeze? No, it didn't. And okay, there we go. All right, we're good. And oh yeah, I'm playing Supermarket Together right now. I need to close it. Let me close Supermarket Together. I was in a big hurry
A viewer
to jump
says
in there.
hello and has received a studio stamp for the day.
But all right, so let's where the hell's the window? But yeah, let me yeah, I'm gonna set that up. We're gonna set that up tomorrow. Let me see if anybody else wants in on the. I tried to get a couple wrestling VTubers to jump in there, but let me see. But I might ask another person. He's a big wrestling guy. He's also a wrestling fan who's also a VTuber. All right, so where are we at on this? Let's see. Where's the vupechat window? I know it's here somewhere. It's somewhere around here. Let me see. There it is. All right. And good Lord, we had a conversation last night that was a half hour, 35 minutes long with somebody named Sheep something. But we're going to see how well this goes. And yeah, and there's already backers for the Vupathon thing. How many people have donated already? Or how much money have they donated? Oh, look who's in the Christmas spirit.
Christmas.
Yeah.
I'm even listening to Christmas music right now in Minecraft, setting up a little Christmas tree.
You're listening to Christmas music right now,
Yes.
setting up your Christmas tree.
Well, in Minecraft, and making.
Setting up your Christmas tree in Minecraft.
Gonna take a lot of resources, but worth it for the holiday.
Okay. All right. So how are you doing on this? How are you doing?
I've been fine. Yapping and chatting.
Carl.
I ran into Carl.
Oh, I skipped Carl. I don't skip a lot of people, but I'll skip Carl.
But you have bad experiences with him?
No, I don't like Carl.
Fair. Great, my Minecraft crashed.
Uh-oh.
I didn't want to pull out my OBS setup because it's real glitchy.
Okay. Wait, let's see here. What's happening in the NFL? Let's see what's happening in the NFL. Let me see here. Let's see. Commanders, Vikings. And NFL won't load. Ravens are up 3-0 against the Steelers. I know the Packers play the Bears, right? In Lambeau Field.
Nice. Well, the thing is, my mom's a big Lions fan, so... Wait, no, not Lions. Bears fan. So
it should be a good ass game. I mean, aren't they're division rivals anyway, right?
Yeah.
And NFC North. I know it's Bears, Packers, Lions, and who else is up there? Hold on, let's see. Bears, Packers, Lions, Vikings.
Bengals, maybe some of the Ohio teams.
No, that's NFC North.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, AFC North is Bengals, Ravens, Browns, Steelers. The more you know, for anybody that doesn't watch football.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Minecraft, there's a game that I saw that had like Minecraft graphics, but you get to blow stuff up. It's called Teardown.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
It looks really good. see mods of it and like an apartment building blowing up. I'm like, dang, that's cool. Like, you want to blow stuff up? Just that game looks fun. That'd be a game I stream.
Oh yeah, that'd be like therapy.
Yeah. Speaking of, have you ever seen those like shorts where they have where they crash cars?
Don't think I have.
Yeah, basically the name of the game is called Beam MG Drive. Basically, it's like a physics racing game, or kind of like a sandbox racing game. They use it for like shorts and stuff for like which car can jump over a number of barrels or something like that. That game. But like, which car can run in abuse? And then they have the car go at like 300 miles an hour. Or a school bus with rocket thrusters on it.
Yeah, or they have like celebrities' cars crash and whatnot. I've seen a recreation of OJ's being arrested, police chase.
Oh, but yeah, that game is fun. Beam MG Drive. It's a sandbox racing car game, but a lot of people just use it to crash cars. It's fantastic. Graphically intense, though. Oh my God, it's graphically intense.
Yeah.
I gotta see who's the guest today. I don't even know.
I don't think there's one for today.
There's no guest. All right, I'm right. I'm the guest, ladies and gentlemen. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm the guest now.
I'm the guest now. No. Oh, okay, that's Apollo Mythos. Okay, never mind. There's no new guest. Okay. I ran into Delicia. She rated me yesterday. That was cool. Appreciate that.
Oh, Delicia.
Yeah. Delicia Rin, the ice chick. The ice queen.
Yeah. I've seen her.
Oh, did you talk to her yesterday?
No. I wasn't on yesterday. I went out Christmas shopping with friends.
Christmas shopping.
Yes.
Oh. Well, all right. Well, all right,
But
all
I
right.
was gone the whole day yesterday.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll see you later.
Take care.
All right.
Bye.
We're gonna might watch some football.
Mm.
Yeah. All right. Oh my God, that'd be a good watch along. Football. Watch some football on Sunday Night Football. Sunday Night Football. Hey, uh-oh. Oh, you're not playing Pokemon?
Cara with the beautiful Cara. What's up?
You're not playing
Nah,
Pokemon.
well, no, I literally, I did trade, but nah, not right now.
Okay. So how are you today?
Let's see. Today, well, doing fine. I should probably be working on my new character design for my next model, but I'm a little bit lazy, so
Wait, you're doing another one.
yeah.
Oh, wait, it's gonna be like all Christmas theme or?
Nah, that's not like I would have wished like I would have made like a Christmas themed one, but I don't think it's worth it since it's gonna be like it takes me a while. Like so, it's for my next year.
Oh, okay. Yeah, not like that. Wait, how long did the Halloween one take?
2 months I think.
Oh, wait. Oh.
I worked in advance because you seeing the monsters design too. I had to make two
Yeah,
designs.
you had to make two of them.
Yeah, especially rendering that shit out was just completely. It was just giving my computer was giving birth.
Oh, dang, it was that bad.
Yeah, it was bad.
Oh boy.
Like, oh my god, it was hell. But yeah, what's up? What's up with you, man?
Not much. Well, we're doing our. Do you watch pro wrestling?
I do not enjoy two strong men touching each other. So no.
Okay.
So I what pro wrestling like? Like the local ones or like the actual the exotic ones like from Mexico.
All of it.
Oh
Do you
wait,
wa-
how's that always work?
Wait, do you watch any? You don't watch any pro wrestling?
No, I am a completely weeb online, man.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. No, I'm just asking. I'm doing a collab on next Saturday.
Oh, awesome. Are there gonna is there a special guest today? Like, do you know? I have no idea.
No, there's no special guest today.
Alright, that's fine. Pretty much just a chill Sunday, yeah.
Yeah, today is Sunday. That's what today is. It is indeed Sunday. Yes.
My god. But so far, like, have you ran into new faces, same faces?
You're the second person today. I just started.
Really, bro, man. I think you're my fourth one for the day. Yeah,
you
fourth one.
know, because I always do my opening. My opening takes like 5 minutes. I do like a whole like intro and everything.
Nah, I know pretty much that's
I
how like.
got a whole like I'm freaking like who's a popular talk show host now? I'm not gonna say Jimmy Kimmel. Freaking Conan O'Brien. I have a whole opening and then I play music when I come in. It's like, hey, welcome everybody. Right.
Yes. Oh, I love that. Sounds fun.
And then I do a weather report, like a worldwide weather report, and then I say hi to everybody, and I jump in.
No, tell me what's the weather right now?
In my neck of the woods, it is 44 degrees.
All right, because I'm looking at my weather right now. It's sunny, so
it's 40 in Tokyo, it's 63 in Los Angeles, 58 in London, and 28 in Chicago. So it's cold over there. It's relatively mild for a December.
Awesome. Nah, I like that. I like how you look. You sound always prepared, nice and prepared.
Well, I got a weather widget on my Stream Deck, so that's why I see the weather stuff.
There's something there.
It's freaking awesome.
I have more cities. Prepared. What?
I might add more cities to the
Ooh, like which cities?
probably Amsterdam.
New Amsterdam. Did they call it New Amsterdam because they eat hamsters?
No, Amsterdam, not New Hampshire.
Hamster. I like hamster.
Okay, well you enjoy your hamsters.
Have a nice one, Cap.
Okay. Now, I don't know. Hamsters. What? Okay. Hamsters. Okay, what we got going? All right. And then come on, new person. Now, it might not pick up until later on. It may not pick up until like later on here. So maybe not.
Hello, my good friend.
Hello.
How are you doing today?
Doing all right.
Okay, if these Endermen keep attacking me, I'm just gonna keep macing them all.
The hell? Wait, what? What are you playing?
I'm getting attacked by big black men.
What? What? Wait a minute. Time out. What are you playing? That is,
Minecraft.
ain't no. There's black guys in Minecraft.
The Endermen.
The Endermen.
Yeah, they're black.
Well, that's offensive.
Literally.
So wait, freaking wait. They're literally called Endermen.
Yeah, because they live in the end.
Minecraft. They're really called. Let's see. And I'm gonna look this up.
ENDERMAN.
Oh wow, they are black. All right.
I told you.
Well, they're technically dark. I mean, technically they are, but okay. So they look like. Good God, they're creepy as hell.
Oh, another end chip. Time to steal this elytra so nobody else can get it on the server.
Wait, so they appear in the end of. The end of
They
what?
appear everywhere, but the end has his own like dimension. And that's their home, so that's why they're called Endermen.
The end, but they're Endermen, but they come out of the end.
Sometimes.
Okay, how often do these Endermen show up?
Oh my goodness, I'm about to die.
You're dying to the Endermen.
Nope, I just almost died to fall damage.
Oh, there's fall damage in Minecraft?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, there. Hey, you little bastard. I'm gonna need your box. And you didn't drop your box. Oh well. I love how you're just so confused. Like, what is happening?
No, I'm reading on how Enderman. There's a tall, neutral mob found in all 3 dimensions. They normally ignore players.
Normally.
Unless you piss them off.
Unless you look at them.
And then don't look at the Enderman then.
They don't like to be looked at. They have social anxiety.
Well, if you see one, don't look at it.
But I like looking at the Enderman. It's funny.
Oh, Endermen will ignore players but they will swiftly walk to attack those that damage it or look directly at its face. Endermen teleport to avoid water, which harms them, projectiles and sun. Oh. They also teleport rapidly in sunlight.
Yep.
Okay, all right.
It doesn't make sense, if they're dark, shouldn't they have enough melanin in their skin to be able to withstand the sun?
The overworld, the end, and then there's the nether.
The nether.
There's all right. So you can literally dig all the way down to hell in Minecraft.
You don't dig. You build a portal.
Oh, you build the portal to go down there.
Yeah.
I see.
Because you got to get blaze rods so you can get to the end portal, and that way you can get to the end and get elytras and kill the dragon.
Okay. Wait, so they're like end-game monsters.
Not really. I mean, they're kind of just throughout the game monsters.
Oh, okay. Oh, excuse me. Wait, so this game's like Terraria, but 3D.
It's like the game Terraria was based off of.
Okay, because I have Terraria and I've played that.
Yeah, this game came way before Terraria.
Okay, so Terraria is 2D Minecraft essentially.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
2D Minecraft with a lot more complications.
Yeah, there's a lot that goes on in there. You gotta dig. Digging there is crazy. In Terraria, at least.
You dig and you found a whole demon.
Yeah. I never dug that far though.
Too scared?
Yeah. I ain't trying to get killed. You know how it is to get items back in that game.
Well, your items despawn after a certain amount of time.
I think so. It's been a while since I played it though.
You know, I just realized that these... Stop levitating me, I swear to God.
All right. Well, have fun with the Minecraft. I don't know what it was all about, but all right. Boop 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 boop. Uh-oh, Taka, what are you doing?
Oh, okay.
What are you?
What? I'm making coffee.
You're making coffee.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You want some?
Nah, I got Powerade. I'm good. I don't do coffee.
Okay. Okay. All right. Fair enough.
This is the first, ladies and gentlemen. Somebody is making coffee on the Cara Carousel show.
Yep.
It took 54 episodes, but it finally happened.
Anything's possible, am I right?
Wait, so this your own world that you made in
Nope. It's just another really nice world that I found.
that you stole?
I'm borrowing it. That's all I could say.
You're borrowing it for today.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, we were cruising around in VR chat earlier today.
Cool.
A little bit. We saw a few strip clubs but they were empty though. There was nobody in them.
Damn.
Granted, we weren't. We made a new instance. We were just looking.
All right. Okay. Just cleaning out and.
Wait, you legit making coffee?
Yep, I guess you could say that.
Oh, he's pouring. There's nothing coming in there. There's nothing going in there. Oh, you spill it out.
Okay, that's full. No, so I'm just gonna. Yep.
Is there a Starbucks in VR chat? And you can place orders and stuff. I'm gonna go
there's a McDonald's. That's all I know. There's a McDonald's.
I'm gonna go to the VR McDonald's and order a Big Mac. Or quarter pounder with cheese. There we go. Yeah. Quarter pounder with cheese.
Yeah. Quarter pounder with cheese.
Yeah, get you a quarter pounder with cheese. That's what you need right there.
Yeah. Right.
Or a VR Burger King. There you go. I need a VR Burger King.
Oh yeah, so Burger King. You know what's kind of funny? I read online like a while ago about like how Burger King can be deployed anywhere on the field, like outside of the U.S. within 24 hours, and just for soldiers and stuff like that.
Oh,
crazy stuff.
They literally just plop it down and it unfolds.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. Yeah,
all they gotta do is just bring the meat and all the other stuff, and they're good to go for whatever.
Yeah, they can Yeah, they can legit kind of freaking airdrop a Burger King out of nowhere. That'll make for a good Battlefield 6 collab. Not gonna lie.
Oh, Burger King and Call of Duty. Or Battlefield, you mean?
I don't think Call of Duty is I think Call of Duty is no longer eligible for that kind of collab. I'm gonna be honest there. Like Burger King, like you're gonna have like imagine you're just done after a battle, right? And then like you could and was it you're deployed off field, and then what? Next thing you know, there's a Burger King. So like, hey, let's go. We're gonna have a Whopper in between battles, and like and how do we say this? It's like imagine in Battlefield, right? In Battlefield, it's a massive map, but then there's your but then each team has their HQ. They have their HQ, and then
the HQ has Burger King in there.
Yeah, and then the HQ is gonna have a Burger King. Call of Duty, however, the battle can take place anywhere on the map because of how small it is. So you cannot reasonably have a Burger King in a Call of Duty map.
Okay, yeah. Ooh, also, now what if the Burger King is hidden? It turns on a neutral ground. So everybody just hang out in the Burger King. It'd be somewhere hidden on the map. You have to find it though.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah, you gotta hit.
Good luck doing something like that.
Hidden Burger King, and people, it turns into neutral territory. So as soon as you get inside, you know, your guns are off.
I mean, that'd be cool, but like at this point, you just basically make world peace.
Yeah.
Via with a Whopper.
With a Whopper with cheese.
Fair enough.
Sounds good right there. Whopper with cheese, yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well, I go out and continue making your coffee.
Oh yeah, I just got done.
All right. See, all right. Any new people yet? We gotta run to someone new. I hope. Maybe. The Floor Company. All right. So, how many people have donated so far? Oh, Lululupo got his freaking $100. He got his money in there. Okay, I see what he doing. All right. Hey, no, we're not talking to the Boo Boo. We've talked to him before. But let's see here. Yeah, so support your. Have you met people on here? Yes, I have. Grow your community. My community is mostly all VoopChat people anyway. It's all VoopChat people. But let's see what happens if we match with somebody. I can't wait to get home to you. I got so much work to do. Work, a baby, work. Hello there.
Over there. You listen to Elvis Presley?
That wasn't Elvis Presley.
It sounded like Elvis.
No.
How you were imitating it?
No, that was not Elvis Presley. That was Vanessa Williams.
My bad.
Yeah, not even close.
I sorry. I only heard a snippet before you said hello.
No, that's fine. But anyway, I've talked to you before, haven't I?
Wait, I've seen your content.
You have?
On Twitch.
Oh, on Twitch.
Yes.
Wait, you have?
You do you do broadcast too, don't you?
No, I don't.
You seem like a broadcast guy because of the microphone.
I mean, I sound like a broadcaster.
Yes, you do.
I mean, I got,
You can
I
do
got that,
radio.
I got that radio voice.
You do.
Yeah, indeed, I do.
I like your outfit. It's quite cute.
Thank you. But you're on the only talk. Well, is it the only talk show? I don't know, but it's a talk show here on VoopChat known as the Cara Carousel Show. We talk with VTubers about VTuber stuff. I'm Cara Carousel. I'm a Babanigu elf Garo VTuber. Tell the folks at home what's your name and what kind of VTuber you.
I am Miss High all the time. I am a Kitsune demon fox.
Miss High all the time. Are you high now?
Yes.
Miss High.
Is that even a question with a name like mine?
He can Miss High all the time. Oh my god, that's funny.
It's great though.
God.
Also a hieroglyph because the Y in my name equals infinity, so I'm literally high all the time.
High all the time. You know what day it is.
Always. Every morning, every night.
And
When
got
I
the
wake up and
munchies.
I go to sleep. Actually, I don't get the munchies often.
Often.
I'm ADHD and autistic. I'll just smoke and just end up playing games for 8 hours and forget to eat.
Okay. Well, so what made you decide to become a VTuber?
The colors
The
and the animations.
the colors.
Yes.
Now, how long have you been VTubing?
Maybe 2 years now.
Okay, 2 years. Now, wait, what do you stream? What do you stream?
I do stream. Lately I was recently streaming this game called The Lost Records, and it's a very, very touchy, mature subject about like these kids that like it's like like those story-based like choose like you're the butterfly effect games where your choices matter.
Right. Yeah.
But on like but it's like that but with like a video camera and you're like documenting it's really cool and I'm really into it right now. I'm like halfway through the game right now.
Okay.
We're getting to the point to where we're getting like what happened that day and what happened to the girl that they don't want to remember. I'm not really trying to spoil it too much, so I'm like giving in like synopsis of the game. This is really fun if you're into gaming and like story based. That's a good game to look out for. Lost Records.
Okay, Lost Records.
It's called Bloom something like that. I'm autistic and I don't remember shit.
You high all the time. That's why.
No, I'm literally autistic and ADHD. It's just the weed just helps my pain go away.
Well, all right. Okay, okie dokie.
Well, very nice to meet you. You have a very lovely day, and I hope you have a wonderful afternoon, and I hope you have a wonderful Christmas.
All right. Miss High all the time, everybody. Give it up for Miss High all the time.
Bye.
All right. You have a good one now.
You too.
All right. It's fucking. He's like, are you high now? Like, yeah. Who comes up with a VTuber model like that? Where's that bong when you need him? That was funny. I need to find that bong VTuber. Her and that bong can have a lot in common. Hey, Sammy, how are you?
I'm sorry. What kind of VTuber?
I was just talking to a VTuber named Miss High all the time.
Yeah, I talked to her earlier too.
Yeah, and she said, I was like, "Are you high now?" She's like, "Yeah." It's like, you stupid. But no, there's a VTuber I ran into like a month or so ago named Hot Dog Bong Water. He's a bong.
I have not met them.
I'm like, her and Hot Dog Bong Water would get along great.
Probably.
I mean, One's high and one's a weed smoker. A proverbial weed smoker.
She gave a compliment to the model, to mine. Because she liked that this one's hand-drawn as opposed to like everything else. Not like one of these pre-bought models.
Mm.
Yeah, my artist likes to be able to do things with a hand, with approach.
Yeah. Make it easy.
It makes it feel more natural.
Yeah, and more real.
I guess. But a lot of the pre-made stuff is starting to look nicer too.
And cheaper.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. We were briefly talking about the Suica model she had.
Mm-hmm.
That thing, I know it's not a lot, but still, they don't really do male models on it.
Nah. There's not a lot of, there's no, I think there's
Market.
a male pre-made. I think there is. I don't know.
Yeah, but probably not by her though.
But it's not really.
I said if they got a smaller chest on it, I might do it because I don't really have anything that big. Yeah, and then briefly talked about like the higher up models, the fact that they have models worth more than my car.
I think Fufi's model was like was it $6,000? Last I talked to her.
Probably.
Have you ever ran into Fufi, the polar bear?
I don't believe I've met her.
Yeah, she's usually on the thing like every Mentor Monday, like on the little banner.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sure. When I first talked to her, her model I believe was like $6,000.
That's a lot of stuff.
And I'm like, that's a house. That's a car. That's a house payment or a down payment on a house. Like $6,000.
Yeah, or this rate, like a month's payment on a house.
Yeah, I mean, it must be a good ass house.
Yeah,
for $6,000 a month.
Yeah, I don't know many cars are $6,000 a month. I think my payment was about $270 a month.
Yeah, if you paying $6,000 a month on a car payment, what the hell kind of car are you driving? A freaking Lambo?
A Bugatti, maybe?
Yeah, freaking. What's that? What's the one electric car? Not the Tesla. There's another one.
Not sure.
There's another company that makes electric cars. I forgot the name. I should know this. I work in the car business.
Yeah, I got out of the car business when I started working the office job. And then still with the office and became a VTuber too.
What's the name of this stupid company that makes cars? Lucid. That's the one. Lucid.
Huh.
Yeah, Lucid. They have electric cars.
I've never heard that name.
Yeah, Lucid, and they're very expensive.
Car company.
Yeah, Lucid.
Right.
I've seen a bunch of them out here. There's a bunch of Lucids.
I don't think I've ever seen one.
And they ain't cheap.
Of course, I do see the Teslas around.
Yeah. We Cybertrucks everywhere over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, the cheapest one you can get is $71,000.
Huh.
And then you can get the fully equipped Lucid Air Sapphire for $249,000.
$249,000 for a car. Is that all?
Hey, I know. Yeah, that's all it is. Better drive itself for $249,000. Jesus.
Yeah, and probably crash by itself too.
Yeah. Knowing the luck that Tesla's having with their cars and the auto drive thing. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Need to fix that.
It's always easy. Something always tends to go wrong.
Yeah, need to fix that. Oh yeah.
So how you been?
Yeah, I've been all right. Been doing good.
Yeah, I had a bit of a start to the day. Yeah, something hit the window. I still don't know. I don't know what it was. All right. Well, good to see you again.
All righty.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, let's see what we got. See what we got. You know, hold on. I should put my shelf back up. That's what I should do. Put my shelf. Where's my shelf? Hold on. We gotta find our shelf. Just for hilarity. We gotta put our item. We're gonna put our shelf back up. Let me see here. Let's see here. Put that back there. Okay. And all right, there we go. Okay, let's make that line up right there. Okay, perfect. And we lock it. And we move over here. And then we go right in here. And perfect. All right. Look at us. Yeah. Look at us. So if somebody runs into us, they'll see the elf on the shelf. And then I do the zoom in. It's like, welcome to our talk show. And then we do that. And then where the hell are the people? Where the hell are the people? Where the people at? One new person? Do we need a refresh? 30, 29? Oh, geez, there ain't that many people on today. I think people are recovering from the, granted, I mean, yeah, give it an hour or so. People might start coming in. Yeah, just wait like, and maybe wait like, cause yeah, so, all right, but we'll see.
Cara Carousel, hello.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going pretty all right. My voice is a little bit shot from the other day, but overall, chilling.
What, were you streaming?
No, just a bit of acid reflux.
Hey, yeah, I know about that.
Yeah.
Had to do the surgery and everything where they knock you out and they see what the hell's going on in there.
Oh man, I've never gotten it that bad.
And let me tell you something. Propofol is awesome. I see why Michael OD'd on it. Like, the moment you take it, you out.
You are gone.
You are out of there. Like, oh. Baby, yeah, that's what they use to, basically to put you to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, oh, my God, yeah. Yeah, Michael Jackson was taking that stuff like it was nothing. Like, I see why he freaking went kapooey. I'm like, dang, bro, you taking that stuff like it ain't nothing. And sitting there. But what are you up to?
Oh, not a whole ton. It's been a while since I've been on Voop, just because the
that's
events.
Parrot.
Yeah, that's my dad's bird. His name's Pete. He's an Aztec conure.
An Aztec what?
Conure.
An Aztec conure. That's the type of bird.
Yeah. So conures are like little teeny tiny. If you ever watched like JonTron or Jaden Animations, they have conures.
Oh, okay.
My dad's is an Aztec, and he's a piece of shit.
All right, Starfielder does not like Aztec conures.
Well, Aztec conures generally are pretty fine. This one is kind of a pain in the ass.
Pete's an asshole.
Yeah, he literally he will fly at me and attack me. Like,
oh, see, he be on a plate with some gravy, honey roasted.
Yeah.
Like I'll teach you.
Yeah. Literally the other day, my dad had him out, and like he flew at me, and my dad was trying to like tell me like, no, it'll be fine. Like, look, I'll calm him down a little bit. Just stand up. I stood up, and he immediately bit me in the neck.
Oh.
Like when he bites, he hangs on. Like he does not let go.
Yeah, see, he be on a plate with a side of mashed potatoes and some mac and cheese.
I don't know how good conure tastes, but maybe I'll find out someday.
Yeah, I mean, it's technically a bird, so it probably tastes like chicken.
I mean, some birds don't taste like chicken. I mean, turkey doesn't.
No, well, I mean, it's only one way to find out.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, one way to find out is just go in and try to freaking piss you off again. And just
yeah,
and there you go. Speaking of which, I killed a chicken last Thanksgiving. It was awesome.
Really?
Yeah, a little baby chicken. We had to. It got trampled.
Oh.
So we had to. So had to put out its misery. It was sad though, but I killed a chicken though. It was great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, killed a chicken. It was fantastic. And now I'm here being an elf on a shelf. Just for hilarity's sake, until a new person comes in, and then I do the whole zoom in thing. I'm like, welcome to our talk show, and go on. And then do that. All right, let me get back to the shelf. Let me get back over here to the goddamn shelf. I might do this for this little meetup I'm doing in 2 weeks. It's gonna be hilarious.
Yeah.
Just be an elf on the shelf and then just quietly zoom in.
Just slowly over time when they least expect it.
Be like, where is he? It's like, I'm right here. All right. But it's been good seeing you again.
Yeah, it was very cool seeing you again, Cara.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, we got into VR chat and we're still trying to figure out what the hell we're doing in there. I have no idea.
Yeah, so it's an interesting place.
I gotta get a 3D model now.
Mm-hmm.
It's more money to be spent.
Yep.
All right, see you later.
See you around.
All right. The number went up. It went up. Hell yeah, it went up. You know what I should play while waiting for people? This might annoy the hell out of people. What's the song from Rally X? Where's that Rally X song? Hold on. You ever heard of... Yeah, for all you old people out there, you know what Rally X is?
Hi, Cara.
What up?
I'm asking people on how they feel about, like, did it feel like a joke at 2025 Stream Awards?
I didn't watch. Wait, what happened?
Iron Mouse didn't win VTuber of the Year.
Okay.
Apparently, Burnt Peanut did.
Who Burnt Peanut?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, isn't it just a voting thing anyway?
It is.
So, I mean, he probably got the most votes, right?
And he was in 2 categories. One was a VTuber, the VTuber award.
Burnt Peanut is a VTuber, right?
Face filter.
So he's not a VTuber.
Mm-mm.
I gotta look this guy up. Burnt Peanut.
Yeah.
And the first thing that came up is Burnt Peanut Streamer Awards. Oh, that's who that is?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I mean, dang, that's a lot. Okay. Streamer Awards. Okay. So, it's just a peanut with a face thing on there.
Mm-hmm.
Like the annoying orange.
Yeah.
Oh. Burnt Peanut ends Iron Mouse's 3-year run with major VTuber victory and at Streamer Awards 2025.
Yep. A lot of people are pissed off.
Oh.
Especially the VTuber community. Thank you for the redeemed emote.
Oh, I'm sure the VTubers are livid. Fans left divided. This is on Sportskeeda. Okay. I mean, I don't know who Burnt Peanut is, but it's like, okay.
He was asked to be voted for a joke.
Ah, and people bit.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. This guy knows he's not a VTuber and pushed his community to vote for him to piss VTubers off. Damn. These are quotes from VTubers, by the way. So, okay. Mm-hmm. Well, something to talk about for the next week or so.
Mm-hmm. You're welcome.
Well, I'm not. I'm just gonna be sitting in the sidelines, just observing. I'm gonna be in the nosebleed sections.
Yeah, I saw. I watched the whole award show. It felt like a joke.
Well, that's what most award shows are, anyway. Have you not seen the Oscars, the Emmys, the Academy Awards?
No.
The country. All those are basically popularity contests, anyway. For the most part.
And Mousy was in the duo one too. People were upset. I remember people. Mousy did not win the duo either with Connor, but that's okay. That makes sense.
I mean, you do have the VTuber awards, right? So.
Yeah, we do have the VTuber awards. So.
Okay. And
when does that happen? By the way, I don't know when that happens.
I don't know when that is either. It's just, I know we have that. All right. I Show Speed clinched Streamer of the Year. Yeah, I believe that.
Oh yeah, no, he won like 4 times.
Yeah, nah, he's freaking. He's everywhere. But okay. All right. Well, we have something to talk about for the next week as VTubers once again get shafted or get talked about or something, because that seems to be happening. 2025 is not a good year for VTubers, is it?
Hopefully 2026 will be better. Maybe.
Maybe. I have a feeling it's going to get worse.
Oh, God. I hope not, Cara. I hope not.
But we'll see. I mean, it'll happen in about 23 days. 24 days.
Yeah.
But we'll
Take
see
care,
what happens.
Cara.
All right.
Happy holidays.
Yep. I'll probably see you next week if I'm on VoopChat. Knowing my luck.
Yeah, probably.
All right.
Probably. Bye-bye.
See you later. But yeah, something else to talk about. And Iron Mouse did not win the award of. I don't watch award shows. So, hey, freaking shocked the hell out of me.
In terms of energy. And Pablo. Hello.
Wait, what about Pablo? What did Pablo do
How you
now?
been? Nothing. Pablo's just in the corner for today. It's just Paco.
Oh.
He's here with.
Wait, so Paco is with you today?
Yeah, the blue one.
The blue one.
Yeah.
What are they, like Snap, Crackle, Pop? Where there's 3 different birds?
You could say that, yeah.
It's like 3 like the Rice Krispies kids, but it's the 3 birds.
Yeah, Pablo, Paco, and Pancho.
Okay. There needs to be a female. Name her Poncha.
I can't do women's voices. I wish I could.
Do Poncha. Yeah, Poncha be one of the girlfriends of yeah, you need Poncha, Petunia. All right, hold on. Let's see here. All right, hold up. Spanish. We're gonna look this up. You gotta have a counterpart for the three male birds.
I would, and that could still be a possibility, but I don't have a TTS to do female voices, and I don't do female voices. Like, it just hurts my lungs to do it.
Okay. Let's see here. Female Spanish name starting with P. Okay, you got Paulina. There you go. All right, so yeah. So for Paco, what were the names? Pablo,
Pancho, and Paco.
Paco, Pancho, and Pablo. You can have Paulina. You can get. Let's see here. Where's P? Where's the P's? Where the fuck are the P's? P.
Hey, chat. So would you want to do like female gender versions of the 3 amigos? Because that'd be fun.
No, it'd be 3 new characters. You know how Ed and Eddie had the Canker sisters?
Yeah.
Always flirting with them. Yeah, you can have the three girls here. So you
That'd
got
be fun.
Paulina. All right, so you got Paulina, Petra, and Poncha. There you go.
That sounds pretty good.
Yeah. One's fat, one's skinny, and one's got huge boobies. There you go. Complete the cycle. The type for everybody. There you go.
Wonderful.
Yeah. I'm sure Paco.
Also, what's with the first time in the background?
Oh my god. Sam, if you talk to Sammy, I was talking to him. This was during the Halloween event. They had it was like 18 hours of just VoopChat, right? He was gonna write down he was gonna write down basically every person he runs into. Now anytime I do VoopChats, I write down everybody's name that I run into. So Hydro, with his crazy ass, made this picture.
I see.
He made the Cara first time meme, and somebody else told me about it because I had no idea what it was until I looked at it on the Discord because he posted it on the Discord. So eventually, we are gonna get this commissioned to look like actual. We're gonna get this first time meme commission, and only like 5 people are in on the 5 or 6 people know about it, and then it's like, what the hell's going on? But yeah, yeah.
Ah, okay, so it's an inside joke. I get that.
It's an inside first time vupechat joke.
Oh, that's going to be interesting in the future. I bet you.
Yeah, for 2026, we're gonna have our own little like merchandise line, maybe.
Ooh, that sounds interesting.
Yeah, we need a Dakamakura. Clean, of course. Can't be dirty. It's got to be clean. Got to be clean.
Yeah, of course.
Clean.
VoopChat is
no nudity.
VoopChat is going to be that.
I'm not talking about VoopChat. I'm just talking about having merchandise for me, like my own merchandise. But I need a clean Dakamakura.
That's fair.
So men and women can lay on me. That sounded so wrong.
Phrasing, my old friend.
Yeah. Lay with Cara on the Cara Carousel Dakamakura. Wearing this outfit. Or some clean bra and panties. We don't know yet. We're still it's work in progress here.
Well, you know what? I wish you the best of luck with that. Also, one more thing. I do love the design still.
Yeah, thank you. Forget a Dakamakura, a Cara Carousel. Oh, the number went up again. It's up to 52. It went up like 10 people. See, you gotta wait like an hour or so. That's when people start coming in on Sunday. People start coming in on Sunday and be like, all right, here we go. Uh-oh.
Here's, oh.
Wait, what?
Hello there, Elf in the Shelf. How's it going?
I'm an elf on it. See, you got it. Free. Like, what the hell? Like, why are you so tiny? I'm like, I'm an elf on the shelf. But yeah, we're an elf on a shelf today. I should make it smaller just to see if it'll. But nobody will see me though.
Yeah, I saw that on the Discord call. You were actually the elf in the shelf, but nobody actually.
Yeah, and somebody actually asked. It was like, why is Cara on a shelf? It's like, because he's an elf. God damn it. All right, here we go. Look how small we are now. Wait.
Oh.
You can barely see me now.
Look at you being the elf in the shelf and looking cute.
Elf on a shelf. Looks so weird being this small.
How
small can I go? Oh my god, look how small that is. That's too tiny. You can't even see me. That's how tiny I am.
I can actually see you, yes. It's just that it actually looks a bit like an ant.
I look like
I hope I don't actually step my hoof on you.
Look like an ant with this one. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
I might stay like this until a new person comes in.
Yeah, I just hope I don't put my hoof on there, so I will accidentally squish you. But that is quite tiny.
That is super tiny. I didn't realize how tiny it was. Good lord, that's funny.
So tiny.
Like, she's so tiny, what the hell? Oh my god, I need a voice changer for that. That'd be hilarious. It'd be a voice changer for the all right, let me see. Maybe down here. Okay, yeah. Right?
You know, that would actually be really funny because the smaller the character is, the tinier the voice is.
Yeah, that'd be funny. All right, so no, we're gonna be down here. All right, or should we be up here? I don't know. You gotta make it to where we're in a spot that can't not be in a unusual spot here. But you know what? Let's see. Yeah, right there's good. Yeah. We'll figure it out as we go.
Yeah, something around there or something.
Yeah, right around there.
You know, I used to actually do a Swedish Digimon parody, and the fun fact is that I actually made the smaller Digimons talk with a very low pitch, while the bigger ones are talking at a high pitch.
Ah.
So it actually becomes quite funny how the tiniest character has such a deep voice, while the biggest ones have the most highest voice.
Have the high pitch voice.
Yep.
All right.
So imagine Agumon digivolving into Greymon. It would actually be like, Agumon digivolves to Greymon. Yep.
Yeah, see, this would help if I, I know I have a voice changer. I just gotta figure out how to get it to work. But I don't need. I mean, I rarely use it, so it's like, what's the point of me? I downloaded it just for lulz, but it's like I don't even use it.
Let's see.
But in this case, I might just for hilarity, just be like, hey, look at me, like, hey, I'm like, hey, how you doing? And I'm like, I'm down here.
Nice. Let's see. I think I actually. Oh yeah, this one is actually called. I actually had one called Clownfish Voice Changer, where you can actually change your voice.
Yeah,
but there's also another thing called Morph Vox Pro.
I think that's what I have. I have the trial one. I think. We might do that in a future stream. And there's the surge.
Just in a few seconds, but still, it was nice seeing you, Cara.
See ya.
Later, Tater!
Alright, come on, give me a new person. Hey, look who it is!
Hello, you wonderful person.
How are you?
I'm doing good. You're not on screen. I am confusion.
I'm on the screen.
I just see the shelf. I don't see the elf.
I'm at the bottom. I'm in the bottom shelf.
Oh, you're super tiny.
I'm real tiny. Now I'm back. There we go. Okay, that's creepy as fuck. That's creepy.
I was like, the zoom in was just like, oh my god.
I just want to see how small I could get, because I never nearly shrunk my model.
I think I've visibly shown my model lower than this on stream.
Yeah, I never really shown her that small. So all right, we'll make her a reasonable height where you can see what the hell's going on. There we go. Okay, there we go. We're right there. Yeah, kind of reasonable, and you can see.
It's like, I'm wearing pants.
Hey, you're wearing pajamas.
It's like my natural existence. If I'm not at work, I'm in pajamas. There's like no reason not to be.
In pajamas. But yeah, you can see at least with this, you can see the entire like outfit.
Yeah.
And
very cute outfit. I love it.
And the hip movement. Good Lord, Jesus Christ! I freaking forgot how the hips move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm kind of bambooey today.
Ah.
I'm just here.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. How are you?
Doing all right. We did vupechat yesterday. That was for like almost 4 hours worth of vupechatting, and we're doing more vupechat today.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I got nothing better to do now. I'm waiting for one of my friends to get on because we're working on writing a comic series together now.
Comic series.
Yeah.
What's it about?
D&D campaign I'm writing.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot you did the D&D stuff.
Yeah, so the whole plot synopsis is we're basically building an overarching plot to follow in the D&D campaign, and the mainline story is going to be a more embellished version of what happens in the D&D campaign.
Oh, okay. Cool. All right. Never
I
really
think one of my
D&D, though, but I need to start.
It's very much a have a good DM, rather like I not to be that person. I consider myself a good person starter DM because I'm very how do you explain it? I'm very casual with it. Like I give full creative freedom to people to do whatever they want for their character because all of my combat is vibe based, so there's no overpowered skill. Because, I mean, yeah, sure, you could nat 20 him. I'm just going to tell you he's not dead because I want combat to last longer than 4 seconds.
Nah, I get it. All right, gotta buy me some dice. I'm trying to figure out what material of dice I should get. Should I get wood or should I get like the authentic dice? The ones that go clickety clack.
Just don't do what I do.
Wait, what'd you do?
I collect dice. I have like a 5 gallon worth of dice.
Wait, how many?
I have like a 5 gallon bucket worth of dice.
5 gallon. Oh, all different colors and stuff.
Different sets, not
different
just like
sets.
colors.
Yeah,
it's like.
So you got. See, I assume you got like metal ones too, right?
I have metal ones. I have a glass set. I'll have to show them on stream at some point.
Oh, you ain't gonna roll those.
The glass one's real fine. It's like that like weird like hardened glass. You can roll them fine as long as you don't drop them on hard floors. I don't use them because I cracked one on accident because it fell onto concrete.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah.
All right, there we go. All right.
I'll have to show them on stream, but I have to like go uptown.
Do you have the ring too? You know, you can get like the 20-sided with a ring. It's like a ring with a spinner on it.
I almost jokingly bought one of those as a wedding gift to my wife. One of my favorite gags I want to do to a friend of mine's wedding, because I have a friend of mine who he's got a wedding coming up and it's a Lord of the Rings themed wedding. I was gonna dress as Sauron, and when they put on rings, I was gonna go for they not knew another ring was formed, and then stand up and put a ring on my finger.
Wait, does your wife's a VTuber or not?
No, she just creates VTuber models though. This one was created by a friend of mine, not my wife.
Ah, okay. Well, all right. That's cool.
Yeah.
I hear kids. You got kids, don't you?
No, you're hearing my roommate and my wife in the background. I apologize for that. They're just really loud because they left the door open.
Oh, what are they doing? Having a good ass time over there.
They're either playing Minecraft or Roblox together right now.
Ah, wife that plays Roblox.
We met on Dead by Daylight.
Oh my god, that's a weird place to meet somebody.
Oh yeah, no, which is really funny. So I used to competitively play Halo and Call of Duty back during like 2018, 2019, 2020. I met her casually through a mutual friend playing Dead by Daylight with all of them. And I ended up being like the killer of the match, not fully knowing what the hell I was doing. And then like 6 months later, we were moving in together because she needed out. I needed a roommate to help pay bills, and then now we're married with a kid. So life's crazy.
It sure is. Wish I had you. Well, nah, I need a job in order to keep kids are expensive.
Kids are expensive.
Kids are very expensive. I think it's like $100,000 for the first 18 years or something. Some kind of I know it's a lot of money. You need freaking need down payments on stuff for childs and for kids.
It's always really funny too because everyone's just like, "Oh, how do you afford being a VTuber with a kid?" And it's just like everything I exist on is a budget, and most of this is ancient ass Radio Shack equipment.
Mm-hmm. That's all you need, though.
Yeah, no, it's like I haven't really needed to change much or upgrade much. And then I have a friend of mine who I work mutually with. She does art for me. And I mean, I do pay her for her commissioned art because that is her full-time job. And I refuse to take free handouts from people, especially artists.
Mm-hmm. Wait, she does 3D models?
She did from a concept on a sticky note at work while talking to me about a D&D character to this took her about 2 weeks.
2 weeks?
Yes.
How much? How much we talking here? How much?
I think she did it in like... I think I paid her like 80, but I think she was trying to charge me like 60.
Wait, you got her link or whatever? Does she do? Because we're thinking about rolling into 3D eventually. Maybe not. We don't know
Yeah,
yet.
so she does VRC models as well. That's actually what this is a VRC model that's just fed into VC face.
Oh, VC face. Oh, okay, so you got to use VC face.
No. It's just the program she told me to use because it works. It integrates the best with what I'm trying to do with it.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah,
I'm sure anything that can accept a Unity asset model will work.
Yeah, hook me up with that in the Discord.
Yeah, I'll actually just quick chat with her here after stream today, and I will invite her to the Discord if at all possible.
Yeah, see if she can commission. I don't know. I'm looking, and I'm just looking. We don't know yet, but I wonder if she can. She might like my model. I mean, look at her. Look at her. Look at her.
She does. She will do payment plans too for any price, and as long as you are paying, she doesn't really care about the amount.
Okay. I'm like, hey,
she's just happy to.
Like, could she make this? Could she make Cara Carousel in 3D look like this without the? I don't know though, but we'll see though. I just want to see. Does she have like a portfolio and all that, or?
I can link you with her here in a bit. Like after we get done streaming and stuff, I'll link you with her, and then you can chit chat with her directly.
Okay.
So then we're not trying to do some weird. I don't like third partying conversations for people. It's just awkward to me.
I get it. I get it. All right,
especially with like an artist, because then it's kind of like, it's just.
What's going on? What's happening?
Hey,
I heard art. Now I'm coming into the stream. Hi, person.
They're asking who made my model.
Hello, wife.
How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
They're doing good. They want to know how you're doing.
Doing good.
Oh, that's
We're
great.
talking shit about people.
Okay.
Oh, wait. Talking garbage.
No, it's too late. You already said shit.
Yeah, I run I don't know what your streams are like. I'm an 18 plus stream.
It's 18 plus. Freaking out. Yeah, I'm freaking. I got a little.
Most of my friends are ex-military.
Okay. So.
I had to have I have a permanent profanity filter stuck on my stream due to the fact that most of my friends are Marines. So.
Alrighty. All right. I'll see you later.
You have a lovely day. But yeah, I'll link you. I'll link you with her.
Okay. All right. That's funny though. Like all people are ex-military.
Oh no.
Wait, why is it every time you run into me, it's like, oh crap, here he comes again. Here he is. It's the elf again with the talk show. He's gonna ask me questions all the time.
Well, hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How about yourself?
Doing all right. We're elfing and shelfing today. Well, today at least.
I see.
Yeah, the elf on the shelf.
I can see that.
I might make myself. I was making myself even smaller because let's see how small. Let's see how small we can get. And oh my god, now you can't. Now, I'm just a speck now. That's super. That's too tiny.
Now you're real elf in the shelf.
Real elf dang near in the shelf, freaking like an ant. There are ants that aren't this big or tiny. Now, let me get back to regular. Where we at before? We were right here. I think right there. Okay, we're right
around there. Yes.
Somewhere around there. We're somewhere around there. But you doing all right?
Yeah, I'm doing okay.
Okay.
Doing some drawing at the moment.
What you drawing?
I'm drawing a PNG duper for myself. New one.
Oh, a new PNG.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Wait, how much you charge for PNG? Do you do commissions?
No.
Oh.
I'm still practicing, so.
Brand new. Oh, okay. Brand. So you're getting.
I do different kind of art though.
Wait, you do what?
I do stained glass art.
Stained glass.
Mm-hmm.
Like actual with your hands and stuff.
You can see it on my VGen.
You have a on your VGen right now. Oh, let's take a look. All right, let's see. Emotes, clothes, staying. Oh, that's cool. That's really freaking, holy shit. That's awesome. Yo, hold on. We might have to commission you. Hold on a second. That's dope. I'm not lying. This is cool. That's really cool. Shoot, I can put that as that's really cool. How much you charge? That's about right. Yeah, damn. Hell yeah. You know
I don't charge much because I'm still, of course, trying to get into it.
You're still trying to get. That's cool though.
Yeah, people say it's a cool style to do, like actual
monetized content. Okay, we can't resell it. Okay, that's fair enough. All right. So we're gonna have to. Yeah, we're gonna have to. Okay, let me add that to my. All right, let's see here. VGen. We gotta copy that and go to VGen over here on the other browser. And then, all right, where we at? Okay, follow. And all right, and we'll bookmark the stained glass art. Okay, bookmark there. All right, so when we get paid, and we freaking out, that's cool though. I never seen that.
Glad that it got you interested.
I could put that on I could put that in as a second picture on the stage here.
I would be honored to be.
That'd be awesome. That's freaking. It's freaking cool, actually. I'm like, hey, that's cool.
I'm still a small artist. That would be fucking honored to be like on an actual scene.
It look cool. I'm like, I might have to get in on that. Like people gonna ask, where'd you get the stained glass thing? I'm like, oh, Naira freaking drew it. Like, I can get your VGen and all that. And there you go. And
that would be so sweet.
And you gonna be rich.
Oh, I feel like any money that I get from my commission will go toward my PC.
Yeah, you gonna be rolling in the dough. But nah, that's cool looking though. All right, we got commissions open now. Hold on, if I just gotta give you a. Well, I got a character sheet, so yeah, it shouldn't be too hard.
Just clear like an image of character really enough for me.
Yeah, I got a character sheet, so
that's cute.
Yeah, so it should be. All right, so we're already following you. It's 9:00 over there. Why are you still awake?
Reasons.
Oh, yeah. It shows what time. It shows your local time on VJ.
Yeah, I know. People can see how fucking late I'm always time.
Let's see what time it is over there. But yeah, I'm gonna have to. Yeah, this is gonna be a future commission here.
Thank you.
And I like it. But good seeing you again.
See ya.
All right. But nah, for real though, this is cool though. Look at this thing. I never seen that. That's cool. I've never seen stained glass art. That's dope. You alright?
Do a flip.
I can't do a flip.
Why not?
Because I'm an elf on a shelf.
Do a flip on the shelf.
I'm not doing a flip on the shelf.
Why not? Let's flip.
We can't do flips, but we do talk shows, because it's the Cara Carousel show, where we talk with VTubers about VTuber stuff. I'm Cara Carousel. I'm a Babaniku, elf, Gyaro VTuber, and as you can see, we are in the holiday season. Uh-oh.
What happened?
Yeah, your screen went blank. Oh, there you are.
I am committing playing Tarkov.
You're playing a
game. I like
game
your model though; it's really cute.
Thank you. You're playing a game while streaming, or while on VooChat.
Yes, technically not. I am clearing up my stash.
Okay, all right. So, all right, but anyway, my name is Cara Carousel. I am a Babaniku elf Gyaro VTuber, and tell folks at home what's your name and what kind of VTuber are you?
I am Shimachi. I am cow. I do cow things. I go moo, and I eat grass.
You go moo. It's like
I go moo and I eat grass.
Moo and you eat grass. All right.
Yes.
Shimachi.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Let's see here. And you are a cow. You're like the fourth cow that I've talked to on VooChat.
What do you mean?
You're like the. You're
I
like
never
the.
seen another cow. The only wait, I think I seen another cow. It was Mandy. That's about it.
Oh, that's right. She is a cow. Well, no, you're the fourth. You're the fourth cow that I've talked to.
Oh.
Maybe 5. I don't know. But yeah. You're one of the more recent one. I've talked to Mandy May. I've talked to the one chick that's 3D that she's all nude and everything, and then I've talked to another cow that was a PNG.
PNG cows are the funny one.
The PNG cows. And I know maybe you're the 6th cow. I don't know. I gotta look at my record. So, what made you decide to become a VTuber?
Because anime character cute.
Okay. All right. Nothing wrong.
So it started by me playing VR chat, and then like, you know what? I see friends stream. I should stream, and now I'm here.
You wanted to be a cow. All right. So how long have you been VTubing?
2 or 3 years, but I don't like. I stream a month for a year, and then stop for like the entire year.
So one stream a year, basically.
No, 1 month of streaming's a year.
Oh, 1
That's
month
what
streaming.
I've been doing.
So you stream like 30 days in a row, and then it's like, all right, I'm taking a break, taking a year break,
Fuck
and then I'll
it.
stream.
And then come back with new model.
Come
for
back
no
with a
fucking
brand
reason.
new model, and it's like, hey, I'm a cow, and all right. So, well, you said 2 years.
Yeah.
All right, we'll put in 2 years
shit.
just for documentation purposes. All right.
Yeah.
So now, when you are streaming, what do you stream?
War Thunder and every other game that I wanted to play on that day.
War Thunder and whatever. So whatever you
It
feel
was
like.
and whatever the fuck I want, essentially.
Okay. Nothing wrong with that. So why a cow?
It's you might want to extend timer, but when I start playing VR chat, my model was a cat.
Okay.
And then I find another model that also a cat. And then another model that is not a cat. And then I come back to that model because I like that one. And then I find a new model that is a cow. And then when I decide to start streaming, the terms of use of the model said, you're not allowed to use this model for streaming. You can use part of the model. So I'd be like, okay, I'm going to yoink the part of that model and put it into the other model. So now, and then I become a cow.
Nothing wrong with that. All right. So a cow. Now, what do you do in VR chat?
I yell at friend and bully friend.
You bully friends on VR chat.
Yes.
What
go burr.
What worlds do you go? I recently just got into VR chat. We're still learning the ropes and stuff. So, but I never really talked to anybody on VR chat yet.
So I just join my friend and I just do like talk around with them, hanging out with them. That's about it.
You don't play games on VR chat, or?
Usually my friend doesn't do it, so I didn't. But I usually play. I used to play a lot of Murder 4. The world called Murder 4 in VR chat.
Oh, there's a world in VR chat called Murder 4.
Yeah.
What is that?
Trouble in Terrorist Town, but VR chat. So one person is a murderer, one person a detective, and the rest is bystander. The goal is to stay alive and find out who the murderer is, and the murderer is try to kill everybody.
Ah, so basically like Among Us, but in VR chat.
It's like, yes, you can find clues to get gun to defend yourself. You can yeah, that's about it.
Okay. Fine. All right. So, all right. Okay. So, Murder something in the VR chat. I gotta look up.
And
the murder
then
game.
I like to go just watching movie with friend and then talk with friend, and that's about it.
Okay. Well, all right.
If you find people to be with, it will be fun.
Okay. I know a few. All right. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Cow, for joining me here today, and continue. I know you playing the Tarkov game, which is probably eating your computer up right now.
Probably, but I just upgraded my computer, so I'm happy.
All right. Give it a Shamashi, everybody. The cow. All right.
We should do a flip.
I'm not doing a flip.
Why?
All right, let's get back on the shelf. Back on the shelf. Hey.
Greetings, dear.
Hello again.
Hi. I see you took to the elf on the shelf quite nicely.
Yes, we did. Little elf on the shelf.
Yeah, I might have to do that on my stream, but I'm okay with being an elf on the table right now.
I thought you were like it looked like a floating platform. It didn't look like a table.
Yeah, it's a table. It's just you can't really see the details because like my dress is hiding the
dress is hiding the thing in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
That's holding it up.
Just secrets.
Very good. But so what have you been up to?
I've been fighting vupechat.
Wait, fighting it?
Yeah, listen, me and technology, it's not a love-hate relationship, it's just full-on fisticuffing each other at this point.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I was like stuck on a screen, but it wasn't like changing the screens or doing a countdown kind of thing, so I refreshed it. But as soon as I refreshed it, it made me pair up with somebody. I was like, no, I'm not skipping you, I'm sorry. And then I'm like, okay, maybe it's fixed now. And then it wasn't, so I refreshed it again, and then I immediately paired up with somebody. I was like, okay, we're fighting. So I made sure to refresh it before I talked to somebody. And then I tried adding time, and then for some reason it didn't add time and immediately skipped them. I was like, I love it here. I love it here.
And you having all sorts of issues.
Yeah. My friends call me, you're the ideal like tester, but you're like every game's worst nightmare.
Every game tester's worst nightmare, basically.
Yeah, no.
Every game's, because when you test it, it goes kapooey.
Oh yeah, I had a friend who was making a game, and I was like, I think I'm in a place I shouldn't be. What do you mean? Is there an underground area? They're like, no, I haven't mapped the underground. Okay, I am in the middle of the earth, and I need to get out of here. They're like, how the hell did you get there? I was like, I touched a rock, and I'm here now. I'm sorry.
Like I found a bug.
And like in 1 hour, I gave them 7 bugs. They're like, I hate and love you.
Hey, making sure the game works.
It worked crystal clear after that, and then I was playing some other games, and when other games like first come out, I have nothing but bugs, and all my friends are like, it's because of your suffering that we get compensation in these games. Keep breaking the game. I was like, shut up, I want to play the game, please.
There you go. Freaking, yep, that's how you do it. Get that compensation, get the money back.
I have every game I've broken, every game I've touched I've broken, and I'm just like, one day I'll find a game that I can't break that's in a video game, because IRL, sure, I won't break anything, but in the game, I want to not break something. I've even broken my own model a few times.
Oh, Jesus. How does that happen?
Scuff.
I'm trying to figure out, how do you break your own unless you change a setting in something, but...
No, I remember I was just going side to side one time, and next thing you know, my neck was like over here, but my body was like over here, and I'm like, did I just kill myself on stream?
That's crazy.
Yeah, no. Everyone's just like, they're like, how do you do this? Like, I just exist. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah, that's why my friends are like, hey, if I ever make a video game, he'd be my like game tester. I was like, you don't want that. You don't want that. You're gonna feel very confident about the game you made until you put me in there.
Oh boy. Oh, that's a future stream, maybe. Game making. Yeah, making games on stream, and then we'll get you to test it out.
Oh god, they're like, summon the lullaby. I'm like, been here for 5 minutes, like, the game won't start. What do you mean the game won't start? It's a blue screen.
Like, god damn it, I gotta redo
it. What do you do, woman? I'm like, I breathe.
Oh boy. That's funny though. That's hilarious though.
Dude, I even broke Discord.
How do you break? How does that work?
I don't know. So like everyone was on a Discord call with me, and I was like, everyone got disconnected, and then it came back and they were robotic, and then somehow we couldn't leave the chat either, so we had to restart our computer.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm cursed.
Don't go into VooChat Discord. You might.
But here's the thing I do though. I got better. I fixed it. I fixed the issue.
Okay.
If Discord breaks and I'm there, just blame it on me.
You're like, well, we know the culprit of why it's broke.
It was me all along, Dio.
Oh my god, that's funny.
But how's been your stream, dear?
It's been going alright.
It's good to hear. Meet anybody interesting?
Somebody that likes to be high all the time, and a cow.
I haven't met either of those, so those do sound very interesting.
Yeah, we ran a cow and a 3D cow and somebody who her name is Miss High all the time.
I hope she likes to fly, unless it's the other high, then
No,
you know what, power to you.
It's the weed high.
Okay, I was like, you know what?
It's that high.
I didn't want to jump the conclusions. It's 2025, that gets you shot.
Yeah, that's true. Mm-hmm. That's for sure. All right, well, it's good seeing you again.
You too, dear.
And you have a nice one now.
You as well, and do stay warm out there.
Yeah,
Ciao for now.
Getting cold. Yep. Yes, indeed. And good Lord, there's a lot of people in here. But we're gonna let's see here. What time? It's not even 3 o'clock yet. But we'll continue to be the elf on the shelf. But we're gonna look at this commission here by whatchamacallit. This looks dope. She's got a freaking we got that bookmarked. Hey, uh-oh.
Hello.
How you doing?
What you doing so far away?
I'm an elf on a shelf.
I see.
Yep.
What about a dratini and a martini?
Oh, let me, all right, there we go. All right, there we go. There we go. Okay, write your name down again. Okay, again. How you spell your name again? Freaking. Okay, and then all right, and there we go. Okay.
All good.
I think I how to spell it. That's how it's spelled. I think.
M-A-N-A-T-H-Y.
P-H-Y, and then okay.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay, we wrote. Make sure we write it down. Okay, wrote it down.
Yeah. Keep track of who you've seen.
Yep. Writing it down. I write it down every day. I have it in a binder. That's how crazy this is. I have the whole.
Oh my 50, god! How big is the binder?
It's a small binder. It's like an inch. It's an inch thick, but I need a bigger binder because I'm actually starting to run out of space. I got around.
Need a second one.
I got around 100. How many pages I got since the first episode? At least a good 120 pages worth of just notes. And everybody that I ran into.
Oh my.
Oh yeah, now we serious. I might post it on Twitter eventually.
You very serious.
I might post
Behold,
it on Twitter.
my collection from VoopChat.
This is the VoopChat catalog of all 600, all 700 and where we at now? 70 something. I think we're at 710.
Oh my god.
We're somewhere in there.
Almost reaching the big one band.
We're almost at 700 because I know I talked to a lot of new people yesterday and 2 new people today. So 700 and I think 715. I think somewhere around there, but I'll check it later.
That's a lot of pages.
Yeah. Lot of people.
Yeah.
And it's on my I got a little spreadsheet that's down to the 886th row.
Oh.
Like if you're familiar with like how Excel works and spreadsheets and all.
Yeah.
So I'm down there. Like 800.
My.
Yeah, so obviously you space it out and all, but yeah. Meanwhile, a dog just came in. How you doing, dog?
Ah.
A little dog just came in here and it's chilling, laying on my bed.
Yeah, I know. A little while ago, when I had to bring the dog inside from playing in the snow, she's yapping at the front door, at the back door. So I was like, okay, I open the door. I crack it open a little bit, and she's jumping all over the screen door. It's like, let me in.
Oh, you had him playing.
And then I open the door, and she runs. I would say, Crystal, where are you going? And then she just runs straight to her crate.
Yeah, she got cold.
No, she's a husky.
Oh. Oh, big dog.
Yeah. It's like maybe around my, I think it's tall as maybe around my thigh. Yeah, she's pretty big.
Yeah, weight-wise, she's massive.
Oh, like around 50 pounds.
Yeah, that's a little big, yeah.
Yeah.
My heaviest dog is around 30 pounds. Yes, I got 3 of them, but this one here.
Oh my.
Well, no, I got a 10-pound, a 20-pound, and a 30-pound. So yeah. So all Yorkies.
Oh.
One's a Yorkie like mixed with Lapa Aso and some kind of bulldog. And the rest are Yorkie poos. It's freaking pick them up at least. At least I can pick mine up.
Oh, I used to be able to, and now I can't.
All right, let me get back over here on the shelf. Yeah, let me get back up here on the shelf, and hopefully we run into some new people. Maybe not, but we'll see.
All right.
I'll see you later.
It was nice talking to you again there, Cara.
Right. Yeah, yep. See ya. All right. The number went back up. Is that Pine? Oh, that's Plank. Plank and Pine. Yeah, next year we're definitely gonna do more music production stuff. I've been slacking on that too. That's gonna be our New Year's resolution, sir, for 2026, at least as far as VTubing goes. But we'll see. So yeah, we're gonna start making music, put my DJ skills to work and my music production stuff to work. But where's that? Oh, hold on. What's the song I wanted to play while we wait for people? It's called Rally X. It's a Rally X theme. This is an hour long. Why is this an hour long? Who would want to hear this for an hour? Do you really want to hear that for an hour? I don't like it. You know what? All right. So, I mean, we got to kill the dead air at least. All right. Oh my God, this sounds so annoying. Hey, oh, new person. It's a new person.
I haven't used like Omegle in a very, very long time. So, hello! How's it going?
Hello! Hey, how are you?
I'm doing amazing! How about you?
Doing all right!
That's awesome!
You're way too excited!
You're super far away, I have to shout!
Because I'm an elf on the shelf!
Elf from a shelf. Oh, that's awesome.
I'm an elf on the shelf, but I'm also an elf with a talk show known as the Cara Carousel Show. It's a talk show. Yeah. It's an elf with a talk show known as the Cara Carousel Show. It's a talk show where we talk with VTubers. I gotta change my background because the snow is gone. Why is the snow not? The snow stopped. Hold on, I gotta change it back to the original where it's snowing. All right, wait. There we go. Okay, all right.
No worries, no worries. It's probably me with my little sunny energy going on here. Warmed up the heart.
All right. Well, my name is Cara Carousel. I am a Babaniku elf Gyaru VTuber. Now, tell folks at home what's your name and what kind of VTuber are you?
All right. Hello, everybody. My name is Nebulae von Astroluminarius de las Stars, the star that will shine the brightest. Nice to meet ya. I stream, voice act, and also edit my own content. You can find me here on Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, or even up in the sky, right? That's where the sun is at.
How you say?
Nice to meet you.
Nebulae?
Yes, that's correct.
Sounds like an exotic chocolate bar.
Oh, well,
Nebulae.
I do like candy.
Nebulae. Get you some of that Nebulae. All right, wait. So what are you again? A prince?
Yes, that is correct. A Sunny Prince VTuber with a sunny spirit.
All right. Sunny, we're going to call you this. All right, Sunny Prince. We're writing that down.
Thank
all right,
you.
Sunny Prince. Okay. All right. So, what made you decide to become a VTuber?
Ooh, that's a good question. Well, to be perfectly honest, when I first started out, I just wanted to bring more smiles upon the world. And, it's a very common thing amongst VTubers. But over time, I kind of just wanted to go a little bit more, what's the word I'm looking for? More worldwide, in the sense that I want to bridge the world together. I want to bring more diversity when it comes to the VTuber sphere, which, by the way, hablo español. I also speak Spanish. But I also want the whole world to just kind of like connect with each other in a way that we come for a common cause. Kind of like Michael Jackson in that type of sense, right?
Yeah, definitely Michael. Everybody knows at least one Michael Jackson song.
Right?
Everybody. It doesn't matter what race you are.
That's true. What about you?
Wait, why did I become a VTuber?
Yeah.
Well, I kind of got into it by accident. My original intention was to make a video game 24/7 stream on YouTube, and I named it the Video Game Carousel. So I kept the carousel name. So when I became a VTuber, it's like, you know what, I couldn't come up with. I'm like, I didn't want to be a guy model, because why be a guy using a female model? Because I thought it was funny at the time, and somebody told me that the term Babaniku was the term for it. So.
What was that? Babiniku?
Babiniku. Babiniku.
Okay.
One of the more popular Babinikus out there is Porcelain Maid, if you ever heard of him.
Yes, I have, yes.
So, yeah, he's a guy using a female model, and so he's probably one of the popular ones.
Okay.
Now, how long have you been VTubing?
I've been VTubing for about, I want to say, 3 years now, give or take. Man, I've actually lost count. It's been a long time since. I still have my old model that I sometimes use, but I've been moving more to a more summery theme for just temporary, right? Since there's still summer in the southern hemisphere soon.
Okay, all right. Now, what's your favorite food?
My favorite food? Oh, wait. I got a couple here. I got quite a fair bit here. So I do love my treats. I have a very high sweet tooth. So I do like ice cream quite a lot. But I always love my protein. So there's this Puerto Rican cuisine called pincho. It's basically what I have here at the moment. It's basically meat skewer on a stick, but it has bread and like barbecue slathered all over the place.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
All right.
What about you? What's your favorite food?
Oh, pizza. But me and particularly Chicago-style deep dish pizza.
Like the one that they cut in squares?
The one that you can eat with a fork.
Oh, okay. That's gotta be cheesy.
Where you put the sauce on top, and you put the meat and stuff at the bottom. Oh my god, yes, it's so good.
I gotta ask, pineapple or no pineapple?
No pineapple.
Ah, no.
No, we don't do that. And oh crap, forgot to say goodbye. Damn, no. yeah, we don't do pineapple on pizza. I'm sorry. We don't do the pineapple.
Well, hello there, Cara.
What up?
It's been a while.
It was last week.
Wait. But still, it's been.
We were talking about bitterballing.
Oh, yeah, bitterball. Now I remember.
Yeah, freaking with basically the fried meat.
Yeah.
Fried meatballs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got me hooked up on them giants. I was looking at them. Looking at the bitterballing. I'm like, oh, looks so good.
You're talking about these?
Yeah, those.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was looking at those. Wait, those toothpicks? You can eat them with a toothpick?
Yeah, you eat them with a toothpick and mustard.
Oh, okay. Wait, how's the meat seasoned?
I don't know. I never made them.
You never made... You did all this talk about bitterball. You never made them.
I buy them from the store.
Yeah, at least try to make them.
I never made them myself.
Let's look at a bitter... All right, you know what? We're going to look at a bitter... How you spell it? Bitter... Ballin... I cannot spell ballin'. All right, B-I-B-I-T-T. Recipe. Netherlands. Air fryer.
Ooh. Air fryer is good. It's in Dutch, isn't it?
No, it's not in Dutch. Okay, for the filling, you can use a pound of brisket or chuck cut into chunks. Beef broth, water, carrot. Okay, that's for the stock. Or just get you some stock. Butter, flour, parsley, salt, nutmeg, and pepper. Nutmeg. For flavor. That's what they use up there for the flavor.
So what you're saying is you got a nut in them?
No, you're not. No, we're not nutting in the balls.
But
Good Lord. You done? You done now? Can't even talk about freaking bitterballing and ain't talking about nutting with the balls. Breadcrumbs. You can use panko for extra crispiness. 2 eggs, milk. Milk is optional. All-purpose flour and okay, you can air fry. All right, bookmark this page. I'm bookmarking this page right now to make some air fryer bitterballen. You can cook them at 390 degrees Celsius for 8 to 10 minutes. Okay, yeah, that might have to. Okay, yeah. Oh, you gotta cook the beef. Okay, you gotta cook the beef before you fry it in there. Okay. All right, so we'll give this. We'll have to give this a try. And we need to get some like honey mustard.
No. Just mustard.
No, what's wrong? Honey mustard's awesome.
You eat them with like French mustard.
But we'll see. We will see. And what are you doing over there?
What do you mean? I'm just hanging around.
You're all over the place.
I'm just hanging around.
Yeah, I see. All right, let me get back on my shelf. Jesus Christ. You freaking Be back to being the elf on the shelf.
An elf on the shelf?
Yeah. The elf on the shelf.
The beautiful elf on the shelf.
I guess you can say that. Would you buy a Dakimakura of Cara Carousel?
Probably.
Okay, all right. That's all I need to know. Okay. We gotta find somebody to commission, Cara Carousel Dakimakura, and we can sell it in 2026 probably.
How about a Cara doll?
Like a plushie.
Yeah, the plushie.
Like a Cara plushie. I mean, maybe.
I will definitely buy it.
Okay. All right. So we got plushies, Dakimakuras, and the first time meme picture.
Be aware. If I buy your plushie, you will be laying in my bed.
Okay. That's kind of the point of the Dakimakura too.
Or a body pillow.
That's what that is.
Oh.
It's a body pillowcase. Well, it's a body pillow.
Mm-hmm.
But it would be clean. It ain't gonna be nude. Ain't no nudity in mine. We are clean here.
We're clean.
Yeah, we are clean. Ain't no nudity.
No. We don't like that here.
Maybe bra and panties, but no nudity.
No. Oh, imagine if I got a body pillow.
a dusty body pillow.
Yeah, just me and in my suit.
Somebody'll buy it.
Probably.
Just get the right. Just send it to the right artist. Get that commissioned. Just get them to commission it, and you should be all right. As long as you got the character sheet, and there you go.
Mm-hmm.
They can make it whatever pose you want it in.
Looks like it's time.
All right.
It's time to skadoosh.
All right. See you later. All right. A Cara Carousel bodybuilder and lightless deity, everybody. Where's the clap thing? Hey, we're doing all right. Sorry for the delay. We're doing good. We're doing good. It's just I wouldn't say a slow show, but it's going. It's going all right. But let's see who we run into today. We ran into Dusty was number 16. But yeah, we're doing vupechat. Next time you'll see us do vupechat is next Saturday. But we'll see what happens. Let's see here. But let's see who's all in here. Let me see who's in here. All right, let's see. We got that. And then we have this going on. But we're still doing the show. I'm going to do one more call, and then I got to use the restroom here. The number went up. That's good.
A new follower.
And I appreciate whoever that was. Oh, that was the Spanish guy. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. But where's the cue? Oh, you know what? Let's play a song. Why not? No big deal. This is gonna get annoying very fast if I play this for an hour. No, let's add something sillier. Hold on, where my lights at? Oh my god, that's annoying. Okay. I can't do it. I can't do it. 1 minute was all I could take. Oh, where are all the people? I gotta refresh the browser. Is everybody talking at once? Oh, number went down. It went from 52 to 44. 10 people went. But we got that bitter ballin' recipe. Now, why do they call it, on YouTube, they call it traditional Dutch air fryer bitter balls. They're air fry bitter balls.
Yo, it's Cara! Hi, Cara!
Why are you upside down? What is going on over there?
Welcome to my funeral service, Cara.
What?
Welcome.
No, what do you mean funeral?
I have died, Cara. You cannot save me anymore.
From what?
I have died because I took the JLPT, like the Japanese proficiency test today, and it was pretty bad. So now I have decided I'm no worth longer leave. I mean, why? My English is not Englishing today as well. I cannot leave anymore. It's hard out here.
Okay. I've been using Duolingo to learn Portuguese.
Yeah, but you're doing a good job. I'm like, I cannot record you, Cara. Please save me. It's too hard.
All right, but yeah, the next lesson is we're ordering sandwiches.
Sandwiches.
Something about cafe is coffee.
Yeah.
Oi is high.
Yeah.
I even wrote down because I was watching a YouTube video on Spanish stuff. So, all right, let's see here. Oh God, this is gonna be horrible. This is gonna be horrible.
No worries, Cara. I trust you.
Let's see here. Where we at? Where I wrote it down. Hold on. Here we go. Il Gusto. I cannot pronounce that. I forgot how you pronounce that. El Gusto G El Sistar. I like to watch. How you say? Oh no, it's Aster She, right? To watch.
Yeah.
Right. They put the assist part. You say like chi instead of. It's so weird.
Yeah, it's just like there's a Brazilian song that we joke around.
And then the DE is G, like the letter G, and then it's like it's we're baby steps.
Baby steps, I trust, but you're doing great. Like, eu gosto de assistir. What do you like to watch?
Yeah, and then you got what was the one lesson I was looking at? Hold on, where my Duolingo at? Hold on, let's see here. We're looking at Duolingo. Un café un sorvete, por favor.
Yeah.
And then you got. So I know that obrigado means thanks, and then ultimo means great.
Yeah.
Ultimo. Okay, so yeah, we got to do our daily lesson today. We're lacking behind. We got to do these daily now. So.
Yeah, gotta do it. Gotta be the Duolingo streak. You gotta do it.
Yeah, Duolingo. Yeah, freaking. You know, on Duolingo you can learn Klingon.
Wait, what?
You ever
I didn't know.
Klingon. It's like it's a Star Trek language.
Oh my god! Really? I didn't know.
They also got High Valoran for those who like Game of Thrones.
Really? I didn't know they had those courses.
That's funny though.
You know what's funnier? Like in Brazil, Duolingo doesn't have those courses. It's very limited, and only like recently they came out with like the Japanese course. Because it wasn't available in Portuguese, and I think that's very, very funny.
That is funny. That's hilarious. But yeah, that's what we're doing that in between streams. I actually streamed it yesterday. I'm like, all right, we're learning Portuguese.
Oh no, I missed it. No, I'm doing deadlines, Kara. I'm so sorry. I wanted to watch.
You say, wait, deadlines? What, commissions?
Yeah, no, it's actually like work, grown up work.
IRL work.
Yeah, I'm suffering. I'm suffering.
No, you gotta do what you gotta do. You're thinking.
Yeah, gotta get that money, gotta get the cash.
Us 9 to 5s have to hold a job and all, so.
Yeah, we have. It's pretty sad. So that's why I have I don't know. That's why I'm dead. That's why we're celebrating my funeral today.
Alrighty.
I'm dead until I don't know, maybe Tuesday. I'm dead.
Okay.
Then I revive into the next isekai. I don't know what's gonna be.
Alrighty. Okie dokie. Okay.
Well, then it was very nice meeting you, Kara. Thank you so much. Keep on your Portuguese lessons. I'm gonna finish the slides and so we can do something fun.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll see. I'll see you later.
Yeah, I'll definitely see you later. Bye-bye, Kara.
Right,
Thank you so much.
You have a nice one. All right. So we gotta learn. We're gonna learn how to order stuff at a cafe. That's gonna be the next one.
Yeah. Good luck. Good luck, Kara.
We'll see how that goes.
Bye-bye. Good luck.
See you later.
See you. Bye-bye.
Okay. Levy is a trip. All right, hold up. What are we gonna do? Hold on. We're gonna take a short. Where's my commercial break at? Hold on. We'll be back in about. Give me like 3 minutes, okay? Be right back.
Do you struggle and strain to reach high places, behind the couch, or in small, tight spaces? Well, not anymore. Introducing Grab It, the ingenious new tool that grabs where you can't reach. It's so easy. Now you can grab it way up high or grab it low. Grab It helps out wherever you go. The grabbing fingers rotate 90 degrees, so Grab It can squeeze into the tightest areas and help retrieve lost items. Plus, the soft rubber tips hold and grip so nothing slips. No more shaky step stools. Now use the highest shelf without leaving the ground. Other products only grip when you squeeze, then let go right away. But Grab It has locking ratchet action. Even after you let go, Grab It holds on tight, so there's no more sore hands from holding on. Just turn it on, and it does the holding so you don't have to. Grab It's locking ratchet action is so strong, you can easily pick up this 5-pound bag of flour. Plus, it's super precise. It'll even grab this thin dime with ease, or quickly change a light bulb without using a ladder. Amazing! So next time a shoe is hiding under the bed, ratchet and grab it. Need that paint can high on a shelf? Ratchet and grab it. Even hang plants in high places and retrieve the kids' toys from tight spaces. Plus, it's great for outdoor cleanups. The folding design stores easily. Then with just a click, you can reach under and grab it quick. Grab It, the ingenious new tool that grabs where you can't reach.
Honey, have you seen our cat?
Nope.
Who had the Doritos? Who had the Doritos? You want one? Sorry. Too bad you're down there and I'm up here. Smells so good.
All right, welcome back. All right, had to do a quick thing real quick. All right, back to what we were doing. Hey, what up?
Hey, good to see you again.
Yeah. You doing good? Doing
Yeah,
good?
this is the first time I saw you not on your desk anymore.
Huh?
Is there something happening?
Wait, what?
You're not on your desk anymore. Like, where are you? Is that a ladder?
It's a shelf.
Oh, is that a shelf? I thought you were like a really small and you're on a ladder.
No, it's a. I'm on a. Hold on. So you gotta zoom. See, freaking, you can't see it. All right, there you go. All right. Now you can
Okay,
see
there we go.
Now you can see the shelf, and now I'm even smaller. Okay. Elf on a shelf.
Try not to hit your head.
There you go. I'm an elf on a shelf.
An elf on a shelf. It actually rhymes.
You never heard of that? That's a thing that happens.
Not exactly,
during
no.
the holidays.
That's the first time I heard about it.
Yeah, Google
An
elf on a
shelf.
Google elf on a shelf. I'm an elf on a shelf.
Dang. But yeah, so how are you doing, by the way?
I'm doing all right.
How's
All right, now we got the talk show. There we go.
Okay, that was really unexpected.
Yeah, it's for new people. They're like, why are you so tiny? I'm like, because I'm an elf on a shelf, but I'm an elf with a talk show. You know, it's a show and do that.
An elf on a shelf on a talk show.
Yeah, elf on a shelf with a talk show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It sounds really mouthful.
I'm an elf on a shelf with a talk show. Hell yeah, that's what we need. We need more elves with talk shows, and on shelves. I had to pick up my pen. My pen.
You have to be on shelves.
Elves on shelves.
Get shelved.
Got an elf on a shelf with a talk show.
Elf on a shelf with a talk show.
Yeah.
Why does it sound like a freaking tongue twister for some reason? An elf on a shelf with a talk show. An elf on a shelf with a talk show. An elf on a shelf with a talk show.
But now you can literally go to any store. I think mostly like those little Christmassy stores. You can get it's a legit elf on a shelf. You can put it anywhere basically. They got a new thing called Snoop on a Stoop. Like Snoop Dogg.
I have never heard of that one.
Yeah, you know who Snoop Dogg is, right?
Well, the
old rapper from
dog.
Snoop
Oh yeah, the
Dogg.
rapper.
Yeah,
the rapper that actually uses weed stuff and
that's him.
I don't really know much about him.
That's Snoop Dogg. He has a thing where he Snoop on a stoop.
Snoop on a stoop. Because the only Snoop, not really Snoop Dogg that I know, but all I know is this one old dog cartoon named Snoopy.
Yeah, Snoopy from Peanuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about.
Dang. I'm showing my age. Oh dear.
No, I'm older than you. What are you talking about?
Hey, I might be older than you.
I am an unk. According to people in vupechat, I am an unk.
Well, at least you're not an unk. I mean, I've been called in different ways. Mommy, an aunt, an elder sister. At least I'm not a grandma, I guess.
I mean, I'm 39.
Yeah, 39?
I'm 39. Yes.
Dang.
And it shocked you. Was like you were like, dang, he like,
okay. Yeah.
He told you for you.
Yeah,
I'm old.
Okay, Unc.
I don't look old.
I'll sit this one. I'll sit this one.
I mean, if you look at me in real life, I don't look that old.
It's your personality that actually brings it younger. That's why it's so good.
And me not having kids. I ain't got no kids to wear me out. It's amazing. It's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, it's good seeing you again.
Yeah, good to see you too.
See you later. Like, I ain't got no kids. It's like, why you look so young? It's like, I ain't got no kids. That's why.
Hello.
Hello again. And ow, I hit my head.
Oh my god. You have it's that like human size shelf or your shelf size?
It's a regular shelf.
So today you small.
I'm an elf on a shelf.
Elf on a shelf. Okay. I got it.
You never had a elf. You never seen the elf on a shelf?
No.
Oh, they're very popular around this time.
Oh, okay. So, do you have like elf ears? Oh, you have little hat because you're like so
forgot
small.
I'm an elf, right? I got the whole ears and everything.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Sorry, you were so small. I didn't see like few pixels of you. So, yeah, I'm sorry.
You completely forgot I was an elf. The Buddhist distracted you from.
Cara, I'm like I have like face blindness. I see people on the street and I wonder if I know them or not. So yeah, that happened. I'm sorry.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Did you look up that song?
Yes.
Did you liked it?
I like it.
Yeah,
I like it.
It's a great song.
It's a great song. Thank you for recommendation.
Yeah. Freaking awesome song.
Yeah. Do you have any other songs to like recommend?
Not as far as finding husbands. That's about it. That's the only one I can think of. Was that
song. Wow, the title of the song, you should have liked it so much, yeah? That you remember it.
Because you were saying, where's my husband? And then I was thinking of the Been Around the World song. She's trying to find somebody. But she can't find him.
Oh, I should like connect these two songs somehow and create one video maybe like in response. But somebody just sent me another song that cannot escape my mind. And you know what it was?
What was it?
Skibidi with Jackie Chan in Chinese.
Skibidi? Wait, that's the name.
Yes.
That's the name of the song.
That's the name of it with Jackie Chan.
With Jackie Chan.
Yeah.
Is that the
in
rap?
Chinese?
Is that the rap song?
It's quite melodic. You should listen to it because it's freaking catchy. You're googling it right now.
I'm trying to look. I don't even know. Oh, it's a recent song.
Yeah, it's a recent song.
Skibidi with J.J. Lin and Jackie Chan.
Yes, you should listen to it.
It's in Jackie Chan Dutchland. All right, let's take a look. Let's take a listen to this thing. I don't even know what the heck we're listening to.
It's great. All right,
let's take a listen.
I'll put it to.
Alright, okay. Where's Jackie Chan at?
He's singing there. Wait for him.
Oh, there he is! God, he's so old, but he can probably whip everybody's ass still.
Yeah.
He's goddamn Jackie Chan.
And now he's even singing in viral Skibidi videos. How cool is he?
Right, yeah, that's cool though. All right, I listened to a minute of it because you freaking Twitch might mute my stream if I play it too long.
Yeah.
All right, but it's catchy though.
Yeah, I won't sing it because like my singing is terrible, but yeah, I'm singing in my head right now.
Okay, Skibidi.
What? Do you know what Skibidi means? Because I don't.
No, I don't. I don't probably want to look it up either. All right, let's see here. What does Skibidi mean? Oh boy. Okay, that I don't think that's what that means.
What?
Something about toilets, but okay.
I think it started with like a toilet video.
Yeah, and that's all I see. I typed in Skibidi on Google, and all I got were toilets.
Oh.
So I don't know. So
I have to Google that.
But it also means cool.
Cool. Okay.
Or bad has different meanings.
How can it?
I do not know.
Oh my god. It varies from awesome to lame. So how can I know that someone is like insulting me or not?
That I don't know either.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Yeah. I should like learn the lingo maybe.
Oh boy.
And then for the debut stream, I would like do the worst possible impression of like Gen Alpha, like yeah, goat, your skibidi is good.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, I had fun. Oh,
hey, wait, where are you going? I just followed you. I just followed her on whatchamacallit. That's what I ended up doing. That scared the hell out of her, actually. I didn't know. Yeah, I just followed her on Twitch. Skippity, what the hell? A $2 bill? All right, you know what? We're going to do our lesson right now.
Oi.
You're not going to be able to see it. You're just going to hear it.
Pão. Chá. Café.
All right, we got
Por
that one down
favor.
good.
Oh my god, it's Cara.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh, wait, can you hear me?
What I do?
I didn't know you were live. How's VoopChat been doing for you?
I'm always live on VoopChat.
And what's even crazier, you're in my live feed.
Wait,
So I was like, you are. It's like when the moment that I open my phone, it's like, oh, Cara's live. It's like, oh, you are live.
Yes, I am. Anytime
So how
I'm
you
on
been?
VoopChat, I'm usually live.
Yeah.
I mean, I do other stuff besides VoopChat on stream, but yeah.
Nice. How you been doing today, Cara?
I've been doing all right.
Oh my god. I just woke up trying to figure out what do I want to do and just see how the day goes by from there.
You just woke up.
I just woke up. I'm being honest.
Okay.
It doesn't seem like I was staying up awake just playing the bully game.
Oh.
Yes, I was playing the bully, and it's really fun. Turns out I'm enforcing the kids' oh my god, to get 25% HP bonus for that reasoning.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not doing that. I'm maidenless, man.
Okay. Now, did you wait? How far did y'all get in Saints Row?
Saints Row, actually, we're just pretty much 5 to 6% there. I just have to purchase the DLC that she wants me to buy, and I was like, we're dealing with a yacht, a fucking yacht. In that DLC quest, it's like me just having my mind to be blown open, but to be confused what's going on.
Yeah, unless you played the original, like if you played like Saints Row 2, you wouldn't understand the references.
No, okay, I need a little elaboration with the yacht. What is the? Is it like he cloned himself for some reason and became a Super Hulk?
No, the person clone Johnny got killed in the second game.
Huh?
I believe. In fact, no, he didn't get killed. Aisha got killed.
Okay.
The one that the black dude is cosplaying as is a girl that got killed in the second game.
That is crazy.
Yeah, she got killed in this. Yeah, so you got The first Saints Row game is very, very serious. The second one is a little bit more exaggerated. The third and fourth one just go way over the top when it comes to just wackiness.
It looks like I'm gonna have to play the first and second game. How the story goes by from here, then.
Well, yeah, I mean, start with the second one. You might be able to get. I don't know where you can get the first one though.
Do you know what console it's from exactly or no?
The second one, the first one is on Xbox, I think, original Xbox.
Oh, of course, it's gonna be one of those
Saints
Xbox.
Row 2 is on PlayStation 3. And you might be able to get on Steam, but the Steam one's not that good though. But yeah, get on PlayStation or Saints Row 3 is a little bit Saints Row 3 is current. You should just get the one that has everything on it. It should be like a HD collection that has everything.
It does have an HD collection. The moment I saw the bundle for
should have everything in it.
Yeah. So once I get the funds for it, I'll be able to purchase this game and see how this goes by.
Okay.
You did mention on the second game it's not okay on Steam. Like what's happening to it?
I mean it's not. I mean, control wise and I mean it should be okay. I mean, is it still on Steam? I don't even know. Let me see. I don't even know if Saints Row 2 is still on Steam.
Is it? Let me check.
It is $9.99. Okay, never mind.
So it's like
You're
$9.
good. Yeah, $10. Or you can just get the full collection that has everything in there.
There is the original Saint Rose actually
for $42. Well, in my case,
There
$42.
I do see a Saints Row here that it says 2003. Is that the one?
Yeah. Well. Oh wait, the original one's on here. The fuck?
I just typed it, Saint Row, and it says Saint Row August 24th, 2023.
Oh, that's a newer one.
Oh.
Yeah, August 4th. No, don't get that one. People hated that one.
Oh.
That came out a couple years ago. But yeah, no, not a lot of people like that one.
Oh.
I didn't get it though, but So Saints Row 2.
Let me check the bundle info. I got the DLCs. There's a Bloodsucker. Saint Row the third remaster. I didn't even know there's a third game, but it's remastered.
Yeah, that's the one you were playing with Dinky.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's remastered.
Damn.
Oh, there's a remaster.
Let me see. Yeah, there's a game that you mentioned that no one liked, Saint Row, the original, the 2003. I think that's it. And there's Saint Row, Get Out of Hell.
Yeah, that's a sequel to 4.
Attention. A viewer says hello and has received a studio stamp for the day.
And 4 is where you play the president. That goes way overboard.
Holy shit, man! Looks like I got a lot of games to catch up from the Saint Row series then.
Yeah, don't play the new one though.
No, I won't. Unless I was recommended. I was like, I can't. No. Besides the Saint Row series, I'm enjoying the ragdolls and everything, and pretty much has been given to me.
Yeah, that's what it does.
Thank you so much, Cara, for the recommendation as well. Thank you.
See you
Take
later.
care.
All right. Hey, Magla, what up? Hey, round of applause for Magla, everybody.
It has been a bit, hasn't it?
Hey, how's it going?
Hi. What the hell's going on here?
I'm an elf on a shelf.
Terrible.
You never heard of Elf on a Shelf?
Terrible.
You don't like elves on shelves?
Terrible.
Fine. Jesus Christ.
What the hell was that?
No, I ain't gonna be an elf on a shelf.
Oh my god.
Yeah, alright?
No, I'm dying. Thanks.
What'd you do? Did you crash?
I'm right here. Are you there?
Yeah, no, we're here. We're here. What are you doing?
I'm working in the background, but I can't stream it.
Oh.
For reasons.
Okay.
I've yet to collect more baddies because it's my first time back in VChat.
Dang, no baddies?
No baddies.
No recent baddies. I think I still have the list. Hold on. Is this the list? Where's the list? I know I got the list here somewhere. I write everything down. I still have I got the list. Hold on. Where the hell's the list? I thought I had it.
Don't worry about
It's
it.
here somewhere. No, we gotta find it. Hold on, let me see here.
We cannot yap to the Vbimbos again. I don't even know where they went.
No, we can't. And damn it, where's my list? Where's your list of the baddies that we ran into? I know it's here. I didn't throw it out.
You threw it out, you monster.
I didn't throw out the list. No, let's see. This is this is for Dyson Spear program. That ain't okay. That's not it. That's also Dyson Spear program.
What do you mean you have a Dyson Sphere program casually hanging around?
No, I wrote down. Oh, here it is. I found it. No, there's a game that I play called Dyson Spear program. It's like Satisfactory, but a lot it's like Dyson Spear program. Or it's like Dyson Spear program is like Satisfactory. Where you got to do like automation and stuff.
I see.
But yeah, I found the list.
What are you going to do with that list, be evil?
Laminate it. Well, make copies of it, then laminate it. And DM it to you.
Of course! Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. So you can have it on and put it on your wall.
Sure.
Yeah. As an accomplishment. It's like a diploma.
That is exactly what I want, I think.
Yeah. Thing all VTubers strive for.
Baddies?
Exactly.
Pain.
VTuber baddies. Yeah.
How have you been, by the way? It's been a while.
Been all right.
Good to hear.
Yeah, we're getting ready for. Yeah, we got to work 6 days this week, and then we're off the week after next. We're off next week for a whole week. Paid time off. It's gonna be great. Cause I'll be doing absolutely nothing for a week. I'll be doing stuff. I got stuff I gotta do anyway. But yeah, we're not working because it's paid time off is awesome.
We enjoy paid time off in this household.
We don't hold no PTO. You use that shit.
Yeah, exactly. It's important to use your part-time off because you wanna be able to actually live. Maybe go to Universal Studios or something.
There you go. Universal Studios.
I really want to go to Universal Studios. Is it obvious?
You never been there?
I have, but it's the one in Singapore, so it's really small.
Oh, so I thought you were talking about the one in like LA or Florida.
Nah, I can't. I ain't going to America. Fuck that.
You don't want to do any American? You want to have the American experience?
Bro, the American experience is being shot and not being able to afford the medical bill.
Yeah, sure is.
Zero.
He ain't lying though. he ain't lying. He's not lying though. You paying a fortune for that medical bill. Mm-hmm. But let's see. But thank you all for hanging with me today. And yeah, we still got a lot of. I gotta talk to the dude over at on whatchamacallit. On the on the what? What are we doing? What am I doing on the I believe I'm doing something at 7:00. All right, let me refresh this thing. This thing's taking a while. All right, where is the? Oh, sorry, 52 people. All right, keep going. Let me get back on the shelf. In case you run anybody new. I gotta figure out why.
When I was diagnosed with cancer, Kaiser Permanente was right there. They assembled an amazing team of specialists. I'm a 4-year cancer survivor, and I owe that to the great care I received at Kaiser Permanente.
Kaiser Permanente. Oh, YouTube. There we go. I'm watching a YouTube video while we wait for this crap. But let's see while we wait for people. That is if people want to jump in here.
Water out, we can start figuring out what went wrong. But before you start taking anything apart, washer and turn off the water supply. Safety first. I know is a pretty big.
Hey, oh, look at that. You all right over there?
Why are you so tiny?
Because I'm an elf on a shelf.
Are you an action figure? Can I have you and
an elf
play?
on a shelf.
I grabbed you from the shelf.
I'm an elf on a shelf doing elf on the shelf things.
I will grab you and then play like.
Now you can't grab me because I'm life size.
I grabbed you before you become life size.
But we're in the holiday spirit.
Yes, I broke in someone's house and there's snow inside.
Yeah, why is it snowing inside?
I don't know. It's not my house, but I got fire and presents and.
And why are you breaking into people's houses?
They are skiing, and my house is not that beautiful, so I'm here.
You got bouncy stuff in your. You got the little tube things in your house.
Maybe, but
Whatever
I don't have the picture of the cat.
Picture of what?
There's a cat. It's my spirit.
Ah. Oh my God! The Ravens are about to lose again. I'm watching American football.
Or
looking,
so you're
looking at scores.
You're the Mrs. Santa Claus.
No, just an elf on a shelf. Although I could pull off Mrs. Claus. Definitely pull that off.
So you're the little helper.
I guess you can say that. Yes. Yeah, Santa's little helper.
You can be my little helper and stand on here on the chimney, just like staring at people. No, it's not that hard. See, the plant is still surviving.
Yeah, we're not doing that.
Oh, I just put you on the Christmas tree on the top.
Oh, like an ornament.
Yeah. You go like I'm the Christmas star.
Yeah, I'll probably just hang up there and be like, "What up?"
Oh, that's what the kid's meaning by I'm hanging up. Hang on the Christmas tree.
Okay.
So, what do you got for the Christmas spirits? Where are the cookies? Where's the milk?
I ain't got no cookies and milk.
Why not?
I need to. Well, I don't know if I get it as an object. I'll put it on the desk. Cookies and milk on the desk.
All right. But if you don't have the cookies and the milk, you just get the boulder in your socks.
Well, you mean the coal?
Yeah.
Coal and boulders are completely different, sir.
They're both heavy and hurt on your head.
Coal gums is usually small.
That's what I say.
I mean, boulders are big, but not actual coal. I think I confused you.
On a Christmas drink?
Nah, I'm good.
All right, more from me.
Yeah, it's all you. You can have it. All right, let me get back to my my shelf, so I can shock the hell out of the next new person. If I run any new people, that is.
I will still grab you from the shelf and play with you like an action figure.
I'm limited edition, so be careful.
Yeah, I will grab you play like Firejet, like auto drop.
Although I'm more of a Barbie doll than an action figure.
Then I play you Barbie doll, and then I will get you your can, and you have fun in the dollhouse.
And yeah, I want my beach house, and I want my convertible too.
Got you. I have the RC car next year.
Okay.
I have the RC car next year for you.
All right, yep. Give me. I need that convertible. That pink convertible. I want that pink convertible. I want that convertible, goddammit. Well, look who's back.
Hello.
How you?
Oh my god, you're so small.
Yeah, I'm an elf on a shelf.
I love it.
The whole elf
I
on
also
a shelf
love the meme.
Yeah, all right, let me zoom in. All right, there we go.
I am so excited for the model, though.
Oh, the new one. The new one.
Yeah.
Wait, when are you debuting it?
It's next year, actually, because I'm getting her specifically because I'm getting her at the end of this month. So it's technically going to be New Year's when I get her. Around that time.
Ah.
I thought that made the most sense.
You got a whole trailer and everything and all that and good to go?
Nope, because I don't have money. I do not have money, so I don't have anything.
Make
sadly.
your own.
I'm going to ask my partner to help me make it because I'm not one for drawing.
You don't have to draw. Just be like, I don't know. I did mine in DaVinci Resolve. Most of mine is just like AI voices.
Ah.
I mean, for when I debuted the 3.0. You get a bunch of free sounds, and you get a DaVinci Resolve and a couple fonts, and you're good to go.
True. I was thinking about commissioning someone to do a reveal thing instead, because that would be cheaper budget-wise.
Oh, like the transparent teaser reveal?
Yeah.
Oh, you can do that on your own. You can do that in VTube Studio, actually.
You can?
Yeah, I forgot how, though. I know there's a setting. I mean, yeah.
Yes, that totally helps.
Where you can make
telling me about it, but not.
Where you can make yourself transparent, like make yourself look all black.
Mm-hmm.
That was the setting you're trying to get. I forgot what it was. I forgot what the setting was, but it's somewhere in here. I think it might be under model settings. I don't remember. It has been so long since I did one of these. Is it that one? No, that ain't it. Webcam tracking? No, that definitely ain't it. Oh, well. Just Google it. YouTube it. You'll be all right.
Yeah, I will.
You'll be all right.
But, how's your show been going?
Going all right. You know, it's Sunday, so you're not expecting a lot of people today.
Yeah. And I got D&D today at like 6 p.m.
Ah. Oh, I gotta talk to somebody at 7 about robot stuff.
Oh.
Yeah, we're gonna be part of a. We're gonna be at a convention virtually.
You're so lucky. I've always wanted to do that, but
I paid money to get booked, so I'm gonna make sure I get my money's worth.
How much money, if you don't mind me asking?
$100 for 1 hour.
I thought that was going to be more expensive.
But no,
I thought it was going to be $500.
$100 for the day, or no, not the day, 1 hour.
That's not bad.
Nah, I mean it's on a Friday, so it's not like the peak day. I was gonna do Saturday, but that's that's like $200. Like nah.
Ugh.
Yeah, a little high. So we're gonna try it out. We're gonna meet people.
Yeah.
And talk to people.
Once I get a job, I should do something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I just gotta hire somebody to go in for me and stuff like that and buy shit for me.
Yeah, and I'll be asking humans questions. Be like, what made you decide to become a human? I'm like, instead of saying VTuber, like, welcome to my show, or freaking an hour of the Cara Carousel show on the road. Maybe
Are you gonna stream it?
I don't know. I don't know how I would get that to work though. But I mean, that'd be fun though. I might.
Yeah, I know people stream it.
I might, maybe. I gotta figure out how to get an extra camera there, but we'll see.
Yeah, that would be fun. I definitely watch that.
It'd be from 4 to 5 though, so we gotta figure out how that works. But yeah.
Yeah, but I will see you later. You have fun with that. That sounds like a lot of fun though.
All right, I'll see you later.
See ya.
All right. Oh no, I could stream it though. I would have to figure out how, and how people could see the camera that they're on. That'd be a very odd stream. But let's see. How many people are left? 33. Okay.
Chá, por favor.
Oh, crap. I gotta speak into the microphone. Un chá, por favor.
Chá, por favor.
Okay, I gotta say it. Microphones. 1 tea, please. God damn it! Try again. Oh, microphones off. Be back in 15 minutes.
Chá, por favor.
A tea, please. Okay. That how you say un? Oh, I said it right. You have a typo.
Oi.
Hi.
Café com leite, por favor.
We meet again.
We do. Wait, is this a new model?
Yes, this is a new model.
How's it going?
It is going great. How are you doing?
Doing all right. Doing fantastic.
How's the stream going?
It's going good. Going all right. I mean, it's a little slow, but we'll be all right.
I get that. I get that. But
I mean, it's a Sunday.
Yeah.
So, it's a slow day for Voop chatters.
True. Though it usually seems bigger on a Sunday.
It depends. Now, if there's a guest on, yeah, it's gonna be busy. But there's no guest on today.
Well, I don't know. We got second best. You're here, so
I am not a host, sir, or I am not a guest, sir. Not even close.
Doesn't matter. You're still a very cool person to meet on here.
Right.
I enjoy our interactions every time.
Yeah. I still need to put those Nikkei cards on my Amazon wish list. Freaking looking at them damn...
I bought 2 more boxes.
You bought 2 more boxes of Nikkei cards.
Yes. And I opened them on stream and got nothing.
How much did you spend on those things? You must spend a lot of money.
I spent like another 80 quid, I think.
Oh,
it was
my
cheaper
God.
than the last time.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, the time before was 120. So, I shaved a bit off.
Booster packs. There's a booster pack.
Yes.
Oh, it's 12 pack of the boosters for $81.99.
Yes. But they also did release with another company. So I think they might be a little bit cheaper on there as well.
Weiss
Union Arena.
Weiss
Schwartz are the ones that I collect. But there is also Union Arena now.
Union Arena. Okay. There's Bandai ones. There's Union Arena,
actually,
and they just as expensive.
Yeah. Oh, I thought they were cheaper.
And good lord, look at those. Wait, those aren't Nikkei cards. That's just straight nudity. Okay. All right. Look at those. 20.
The whole game is. Have you not seen that? I wouldn't recommend you show it on screen,
No,
but there's a character called Blank. There's a character called Blank. Look at the new costume after stream.
Wait,
the thing about it is Nikkei, and you don't get banned for it. So
her name is. Wait, hold up. What's her name? Blank.
Blank. Yeah.
Oh, Blanc. What's the outfit called?
If you just type in new skin, you'll or new costume, you'll see it.
Okay, Nikkei Blanc new skin. What we looking at here? Let's see here. Let's see here. What she got? No pants on?
Pretty much.
Let's see here. All right. Oh, there's some Nikkei cosplays. Okay. And there's a video. And oh my God. She has pantyhose on, but no skirt.
Yeah, that's supposed to be winter skin also.
That's the winter skin. Good lord.
Yeah.
Winter skin, but you covering up. You ain't covered up the goodies.
I know, and
kind of counterproductive. It's like a reverse bunny suit.
Kinda. I mean, that's the other Nikkei character who has the reverse bunny suit.
It's like, why have that to protect yourself? You freaking, why the hell? Why you even have that on?
Well, it's like in MMOs when you pick a female costume or female avatar, and then you pick armor. It's always like the skimpiest thing, but it has the best defense.
And it keeps us playing.
Yeah.
It's only reason.
Also, smaller hitbox.
Yep, smaller hitbox too. Absolutely. the bigger the boob, the smaller the hitbox.
Now I must have a huge hitbox on.
Yep. All right. I see.
Well, I hope you have a wonderful stream.
All right. See you later. Okay, all right, I gotta use the restroom real quick. So we will be right. Let's see here. Be right back.
Nerf. Guys, this is the dark tag match we've been waiting for against the toughest team we've faced yet. We'll keep them busy with the Fury Fire, then go in with the Strike Fire to tag them out. Today is the day. Remember, this is our house. Let's go. Dark Tag. Strike Fire and Fury Fire sets each sold separately. It's Nerf or nothing.
Nerf. Man your battle stations. Man your battle stations. It's electronic talking battleship from Milton Bradley. So real, it really talks. Battleship armed. Battleship armed. We're talking instant programming, free skill levels, and only Milton Bradley's got them. Carrier hit. Carrier hit. Against the computer or opponent, your mission, sink the enemy's fleet. Battleship sunk. Battleship sunk.
Yeah, now you're talking.
Electronic talking battleship and original battleship, only from Milton Bradley.
What's for lunch?
All right, we're back. Sorry about that. Okay, let me see here. All right. How many people are left? There's not that many people left, so we might do a few more of these. But we're gonna find somebody to raid into. Let me see. And add that to our wish list. But we'll see what happens. What up? I was waiting for
Hey,
you
what's
to say
up? Hey,
something.
Cara.
I'm like, what is he doing?
Listen, I wait for 10 seconds. I usually wait for 10 seconds. That's how the delay works.
I would have just sat there for the whole 5 minutes and would just been like the whole time.
You know, that's fair. That's fair. I only do that just because, like, I know sometimes you gotta wait for like the audio delay for like 10 seconds. That's why.
Yeah. No, I get it.
Yeah. What's up? How you doing, Cara?
Doing all right. We're slow Voop day today. Well, not really. Kind of slow, but yeah, a little slow.
Oh yeah, I getcha.
And I'm
That's
watching
okay.
And checking up on my football scores.
Your football scores, goodness.
Yeah, we just came back from our commercial break. And God damn it, the Ravens lost. Well, they're losing. They haven't lost.
They're losing?
They're losing.
I see.
Because they're the Ravens.
Well, what then? Well, that's okay. It's okay. They can't win them all.
No,
that's okay.
They can't, unfortunately.
No,
they can't. Goddess story? That's what that's from? Why are those things so expensive? Jesus Christ.
Everything's expensive nowadays.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, when I was talking to somebody about Nikkei, the card game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it shows all the goodies off, and good Lord Almighty.
Yes, the nice assets.
The incredibly nice assets that is Nikkei, Goddess of Victory.
Are you hashtag not sponsored?
I am not sponsored.
There we go. We gotta let that out there just in case.
Yeah, we are not in there, unfortunately.
I getcha. Sometimes you just, it'll come to you. It'll come to you eventually if you pray hard enough.
Maybe. It might be.
It might be.
Mm-hmm. What is this new Where Winds Meet? Everybody been playing this where Winds Meet game. This freaking where are the winds meeting?
Somewhere, nowhere, and I'm gonna for sure where meet wins.
We don't know where these winds meet.
Well, they'll meet somewhere.
They gotta meet.
I heard it's a very good game.
Though.
I don't know either. Honestly, I'm kind of curious about that game too. I've been planning on playing that myself. So I'll whatever it comes out when I play it, I'll definitely tell you how winds will meet.
Where are these winds meeting, and who are these winds?
Well, they're definitely somewhere.
They're somewhere in the universe.
Someone's passing wind, that's for sure.
Breaking wind.
Breaking wind.
Farting it up.
Gasp. In front of me, in front of my salad. Not the salad.
Maybe.
Maybe.
We're trying to figure out where these winds meet.
Oh, they're definitely meeting somewhere. But where? We need to find a news source. Who's the news source to do this?
We gotta find out where they're meeting at.
Who's the investigator? We need someone. We need someone who can skate.
I don't know. Wait, how big is this game? It's free to play, so freaking. Where?
I believe it's 95 gigs.
All right, put this on my secondary hard drive.
That's what I was like. I think you might need to have a little more than 100 gigs to play this game.
Gigs.
That's what I can tell people. If they ever want to play Where Winds Meet, you're gonna at least need at least 100 gigs of storage.
Dang, somebody done put in 100 hours already? I believe it.
Honestly, no. Like, okay, they said pretty much everything is free except for cosmetics. The cosmetic is the thing, is what I've heard. So that's how they hook, line, and sinker you if you want to get some. There's also apparently like a gotcha system for the cosmetics, man.
Oh my god, why?
That's what I've heard. I was like, what? No way. If I want like the nice
for the cosmetics.
Yes, everything else is free, but the cosmetics.
So if there's an outfit I want, I gotta spend more money to get it, and I have a chance of getting the outfit I want.
By the looks of it, yes.
That is bullshit.
I mean, well, I'm not gonna out other games, but you know, if you play Marvel Rivals, you'll know.
I don't play Marvel Rivals, so.
They're doing the various system that people love doing, which is like if you make the game free, but you make the cosmetics paid for,
and you get a chance of getting them.
Yes, they made it times 2 worse by making it a gotcha system.
Put it behind a gotcha. That's dumb. Okay.
Well, yeah, that's what I heard. And apparently there's a $500 package. I was like, what? Excuse me?
$500.
Yeah, there's a cosmetic for $500 on Where Winds Meet. And I was like, no way. No fucking way people did that.
Okay.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that sounds like it. Now I can play this on controller, right? Let me see here.
Yes, you can. It's control. Yeah, you can play on controller and so forth. And I did a bit of research on some topics, but I didn't really like go into play it. Is the difference here?
Okay. Yeah, I'm installing it right now.
Yes.
Just to get a feel for it, and then we might uninstall it, but we'll see.
That's what I'm saying.
All right, we ain't like this shit. Uninstall, and then we go.
Exactly. That's gonna be like the Destiny situation all over again.
Yeah, probably. But all right.
All right. Have a good one, Carol.
Okay. All right. How many people are left? We're down to 20. All right, but let me see here. Let's see. Let's find someone to raid. If we don't run any more new people, which more likely we aren't. But we will see. If we run any more new people, let's see. If not, we're going to raid into somebody because I got to see what the hell's going on. Let's see. Oh, Celia's playing. All right, what's she playing? She's playing Peak. What is with y'all in Peak? Everybody playing Peak. All right, let's play mountain climbing games. Let's go. We're doing that mountain climbing. Oh yeah, let me look at something real quick. Let's see here. Oh, that it right there? Okay. Oh, there's a whole site. Sweet. Oh, how y'all get banned? Okay, I don't understand that. That's a new one. All right, so we gotta make a we gotta make a blue sky. Something I never thought I had to make, but yeah, we're gonna make a blue sky. But we will see what is going on. I'm looking at company history. October. Oh, they were at San Diego. San Diego Anime Con. That's 2020. Oh, they started. Okay. Company history. Okay, so we have that. Okay. Ain't nobody else joining us. We might call it here. Let me see here. Let me see. But yeah, I was gonna fill in the next page. But we've been at this for about 3 hours now, so 3 hours and what, 12? Yeah, around 3 hours. So I think we've hit our quota for today. So I believe we're done. Yeah, I believe we're done. So yeah, short episode. Ain't nothing too fancy. But anyway, let me go back to the main camera here. Where we at? All right, thank you for joining me. We're gonna raid into. Hold on, let me see. Where we at? Hold on. But let's see what's going on here. Let me see here. But let's see what's happening. But in the meantime and in between time, let's see here. But let's see. We're gonna raid Cecilia, the rat. She's playing. What's she playing? She's playing Peak. So, but in the meantime, in between time, I will see you guys on Wednesday. And you have a nice afternoon, evening. In the meantime, between time, I am Cara Carousel and Toodles.